for a quorum.
Great, thank you. Welcome, everybody, to the July 30th, 2025 meeting of the Economic Development Committee. We'll call the meeting to order at 6:32. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. Last time we had our meeting, we needed 3 members to be available for a quorum, right? They didn't have to be at the prior meeting, but we could still vote on the minutes, or we can decide not to. Let me just look at the prior minutes. Peter, were you here for the prior minutes? I'm Peter Ames, I don't think Peter was. Let me see, I see your name there. All right, and Laura was there, right?
I was
Okay,
here.
and I was there as well, but we didn't need that, we could have still voted to approve the minutes. So why don't we move on to our business. I'll open public input at 6:45. All right, so the first item is approval of the minutes from June 25, 2025. Has everyone had a chance to read them? Does anybody have any changes?
I did.
Okay.
So, I was looking at page 6,
There you go.
and it says, looks like the full second paragraph that starts with, there was further discussion about zoning changes. It says a private overlay district along Charles Bancroft Highway was discussed. I wouldn't say private, I would just say an overlay district along Charles Bancroft Highway was discussed.
Mhm.
And then, the next paragraph, starts with performance standards. Performance standards were identified as a key element, but I wouldn't put missing from previous overlay district attempts. I would remove missing from previous overlay district attempts. And then that next sentence, the committee suggested using measurable distances from the center line to structures, and then it says the overlay area. I think the rest of that sentence is confusing, so I'd replace it with the committee suggested using measurable distances from the center line to the structure for setbacks and other aesthetic standards for landscaping and vegetation in the first 500 feet.
Okay, I see the vegetation and all that there. Okay.
And then the other thing on that same page, which when it talks about discussions on charge items D and E, the second sentence, advocacy for grants was I would just put advocacy for grants was discussed, and I would just take out the rest of that sentence.
Want to remove deemed outside of the
Yeah.
committee's direct role, yeah?
And then,
Does everyone agree with that? It's on our charge. There's probably not much we can do with it yet until we submit this report, right? We don't know what grants to go for yet, right? So, do you want to have outside of the committee's direct role? What do you think?
Trying to find it real quick.
Yep, it's on the bottom of page 6, second paragraph up.
So, Laura, what part do you want to change?
I just was gonna say advocacy for grants was discussed, and just end that sentence there.
As opposed to not deemed,
Right.
was noted but deemed outside the committee's direct rule.
Okay, I'm okay, because it really is an outsider role, right? It was on our charge, okay. I'm okay with it, is everybody else?
Yeah.
Okay, kind of a double negative. I was confused, okay, yep.
And then, the page 5, and that's, 1, 2, 3, the third paragraph. It says, Ms. Gander reiterated that the committee's charge was to maintain the community's character while promoting economic development through the master plan. I don't think I said that our charge was to maintain the community's character. So I think that statement is a little, inaccurate. So I would just take it out in its entirety, because that's not our committee charge, is not to maintain the, community's rural character, so I don't think I would have said something that is contrary to the committee's charge. So I would just have that be removed.
Let me just go back to the website. I'm just looking here. Did it say something about the committee? I'm looking at the website, right, for the charge. Advocate, no, okay, let me look at the third one. Consistent with maintaining the character of our community. Yeah. Oop, do you guys, if you go to the litchfieldnh.gov. So we're supposed to have zoning consistent with maintaining the character of our community, right?
Mm-hmm.
Master plan and the desires of the town people, so let me, is everybody seeing what I'm seeing? Are you on the litchfieldnh.gov?
Yeah.
All right, so the third bullet down.
Yeah, I mean, I would just, that, I think it needs to be clarified. I mean, I see where it says with maintaining the character of our community, you know, that's, you know, advise, you know, regarding certain issues. I just don't think, you know, that just saying it the way it is, that, you know, committee's charge was to maintain the community's character. It's to advise the select board and other towns, town boards on issues concerning bylaws, policies that are consistent with maintaining the character of the community.
You don't want it in the master plan, you just want it consistent, right? So, maybe I'm wrong on that.
I mean, I just
wanna
don't like
remove
how my thoughts are categorized. That's not what I think.
Okay.
So that's why I was just gonna say, just take it out in its entirety.
All right, so that paragraph you wanted?
No, just that sentence where
Just
it
that
says.
last sentence?
Yep.
Okay, 'cause that's fine, because it's still our charge, right? We're still gonna make sure we meet the 5 charges anyway. Okay, if you don't think that's how you worded that.
Right. And then,
But I like your first sentence there, because it does iterate, it says the town's character and the desires of the residents. Matches there,
and then,
that sentence.
and then on page 7, the paragraph that starts with the committee held an in-depth discussion regarding the full flow chart, and then it says, and has not yet been approved by any board. I didn't think that that document was going to be approved by any board.
So is that the internal permitting? You were trying to work on the permitting, right? That flow chart that you
Oh,
emailed
that's what,
group?
that TRC or whatever it's called, that committee?
No, this was a flow chart that,
The one you made, Kim, right?
Right, but it's how the,
Comment got to
Yeah.
do with the flow chart?
well, it's saying that you want that to be approved by a board. I didn't think that was gonna be approved by a board.
It was done for the planning board, that's who we had the discussion with.
Okay. No, I mean,
So,
just
yes, I'm not sure it required a
an approval.
vote of the planning board,
Right.
but it does require that they like it, it was done for them.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it just said clarify, I mean, I think these minutes tend to look AI generated and not necessarily reflect some of the discussions the way they actually happened. So it says the committee held an in-depth discussion regarding the draft flow chart and planning procedures, clarifying that the document remains in draft form and has not been approved by any board.
I think I did say that.
So
I think I did say that, cause it hadn't got, at our last meeting, I'm not sure it had gone to the planning board, back to the planning board. Joan was taking it there in July.
Yeah, the board looked at it, but there was no, it wasn't an action item.
wasn't there
She was
something
supposed
missing
to
on that
ask the
chart?
board
I
if they
don't
had
remember.
any
I thought there was like a step missing in
changes
the
that
flow
they
chart we
wanted
looked
to
at.
I just wanted to make sure everyone was.
It wasn't up for a vote or anything, though, it was just
No.
presented.
Right.
Right.
So it doesn't need approval? Did you want approval by a board?
Well, I think
looking
it's
for one from
I
the
think
planning
it's
board?
helpful before we submit it on our website to people, as this is our process, that it, at least, doesn't have a vote, at least the planning board says that they're in agreement with it.
So could we have said presented and not approved? No, it hasn't been presented to the board?
It's not yet been approved by the
Yeah,
planning
I
board?
don't
Not
think
yet
it was
presented, no.
presented yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't think it was presented
Right,
yet.
so I guess my question is, did we say approved by any board, or did we say presented to any board?
Presented to a board's fine. I mean, there were changes after our last meeting.
Mm-hmm.
COMCOM had some changes
To the flow chart.
to the flow chart, and, internally, Joan asked for some changes, which I thought came from the planning board, but maybe
I
I'm
don't
wrong.
know, but I do remember there was at least one member of the public who voiced objections. So whether the changes were made in response to that, I'm not sure.
I don't remember what they were. Oh,
It was
it was
related to-
something about abutters
Well,
being notified, and we said, yes, that's a part of our everyday process. And we didn't feel the need for that to be on the flow chart,
Oh, yeah, you know,
right?
there
I mean,
was,
we're not,
yeah, there's
that's
a lot of
what-
stuff. The objection was to not being able to go directly to the Conservation Commission. That was the objection, because that was viewed as just adding more time to the process.
So you did say
not the
this.
change, Joan asked
So you
for.
did say this, but do we want to, I don't know, do we want to modify this line? Has not yet been presented. It sounds like it went through another iteration, but at this point in time, it still remains in draft form. Do you want to just leave it like that, awaiting
That's
approval
fine.
from planning? I don't know, how do you want to word that? I mean, this is actually what was said though, right?
Well, the minutes should reflect what
Well, it
was
was
said.
said, so that's what I'm saying. Do we just want to scratch it, that it remains in draft form? You don't just want to stop it there?
Yeah, I mean, again, yeah, it's just supposed to be, I'm just saying, I didn't think that it was going to be approved by anybody. I didn't think that came as what you said, but that's not me. I'm just pointing it out so people don't think that we have a draft flow chart that's gonna be approved by different boards.
Well, it's not this board that's creating that, that's the
Right.
planning board that's creating that, right? Or the
It was the
TRPRC, whatever.
staff, asked the planning board if we may create a flow chart to make it easier for people to understand the internal process. Cause there's a lot of the process that is internal. It's not all the planning board or the conservation commission. There's a lot of the process. And they said, yes, that sounds like a good idea, create a flow chart. We said we would do that and we'd bring it back to the planning board. That's what we said.
So it's more, I think it's more a comment than anything else, it's not a,
I mean, my thought was just making it cleaner and ending that sentence with planning procedures. So the committee held an in-depth discussion around it regarding the draft flow chart and planning procedures, and just take out the rest of that sentence.
Fine, yeah.
That's a thought. And
Is that how
my,
you want to leave it? Just right after procedures, period?
that would be my thought.
Is everyone okay? All right,
I'm okay with it, I guess.
okay.
And my last, was on, 8, where it says additional zoning concerns were discussed.
Okay.
Yep, so it's, sorry, the second full paragraph. Additional zoning concerns were discussed, including objections to criteria number 5 in state level zoning legislation, which members found difficult to interpret and apply. I think that sentence would be clearer for people to understand if we just said additional zoning concerns were discussed, including, the 5 variance criteria provided for in state statute, which members found difficult to interpret and apply. So take out objections to criteria number 5 in state level zoning legislation, because it's not legislation, it's,
Regulation,
right, so it should, I think it's, more reflective if it said additional zoning concerns were discussed, including the 5 variance criteria provided for in state statute, comma, which members found difficult to interpret and apply.
So instead of state level zoning legislation, just
It's
state
not that.
statute, okay. I'm fine with that.
And I don't think anybody said state legislation either.
Refresh my memory on that 5 in-state level zoning, what was that again?
Well, that language,
Yeah,
criteria number 5 in state level zoning legislation, again, that's not what was said
okay, 'cause
at
that's,
all.
okay, all right,
Um,
good.
So what we were talking about, again, I think these minutes are generated in a way that may, obscure some of the actual content. So we were talking about the 5 variance criteria. In particular, I think criteria number 5, but. And the last thing is number 9, I don't know if we said 1,000-foot buffer, so that's the second paragraph down that starts with Mr. Brennan, including 1,000-foot buffer. Maybe we did, I just wanted to make sure that that was accurate of people's memory.
Wait, where are you?
I am on page number 9. So the second big paragraph, the second full paragraph that starts with Mr. Brennan.
Yep.
Says concept including 1,000-foot buffer. I know we talked about a 500, we may have mentioned 1,000, I just remember it being 500, but I just wanted to make sure that people were good, and that was everybody's memory as well. That's all I got.
I don't recall if it was 1,000 or 5. I remember we talked about 500
Well, I remember the
feet
500.
in another area, right?
Yeah.
Above it, on page
Above it.
8, they say
Right.
800 to 1,000.
That's ADUs.
Right, so that's 9.
Yeah, this is for a buffer in the overlay district.
Remember,
So I don't
1,000.
remember.
What about what did we say at the center line?
I thought we were saying, I remember specifically saying 500, but if we said 1,000, that's fine. I just don't remember that, but if everybody's memory is better than mine, which I'm sure is the case.
Well, if it's 500 on either side. Of course, we don't have 500 on either side consistently on 3A, but anyway.
So, yeah, I mean, that's not a major thing, just bringing it to folks' attention. If everybody's fine with it, I'm fine with it.
All right. Does anyone else have anything they would like to change? Very detailed, thank you. All right. I'll entertain a motion if anyone would like to.
I'll make a motion to approve the June 25th meeting minutes as amended.
First, do I have a second?
Second?
I have a first and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 No. Abstain? All right, 3-0. All right, well, I appreciate the detail-orientedness of that. And now that it is past 6:45, I'm going to open it up to public input. I don't see anybody online. I don't see anybody in the audience, so I opened it up at
6:32.
6:30, what, 6:40? What?
No.
48, and I'll close it at 6:49. We'll just call it that. It's one off, but 6:48 to 6:49. Okay. Let's get to our second item of business. So, just give me a little minute to give an introduction here. We were going to do, one of our assignments for the homework was to review chapter 6. Even though some of us had done that early on, Laura had joined like meeting 3 or 4, so you didn't have a chance to look at it. So we went back and we looked at it. I'm glad we looked at it again. It was a refresher. So I just want everybody to realize this is, when we look at the economic development chapter that exists today, one of our charge number 2 on, if you look at the Economic Development Committee's website for our town. If you go back to our second charge on the website, we have to establish recommendations to the planning board and the board of selectmen on updates to this chapter 6, okay? So I reached out to Jay. Thank you, Jay, for the 2 meetings that we had. So, as you know, on this committee, we had done a lot of homework, SWOTs, analysis, tax, land. We did a lot of information, right? We have all of this. Jay, you've seen it in that big write-up. Everything in blue is all that stuff. So the question became, what do we have to deliver for these reports? What do you actually need to get these 2 deliverables done, okay? He's gonna take the detail that we created and put it in the back of the report, just so people know that we have it, right? In case they're questioning some of our decisions and logic. And you wanted a summary report up front, that we will work on that. But at least we have all that detail ready to go at this point. We need some of that information for this chapter, not all, but we will probably need it for the summary report. So, since it is a deliverable, we already did item 1, which was creating the survey, and then it led into the focus group of what the townspeople wanted. That's done. This will get rid of, I'm not saying get rid of, Jay, but move it over to you. So I want to say the group that did this 20 years ago, it was called EDWG, the Economic Development Working Group. I asked Jay, what did they deliver to you in the past, right? Because we're almost in that same situation. So what they delivered is what we're going through today, real quickly, okay? So you have what you need to go off and do this. NRPC did create this last time, right? With
Yes.
working with the planning board. So we're going to tell him, so Jay and I went through this for like an hour. Here's where you get this data for this graph. Here's where you get this. Remove this wording, okay? All right, so I just want to say, if you read the chapter or just did a quick look at it again, it goes into the labor statistics of the town of Litchfield. It also says what are the major companies in Litchfield at the time. It also says what is going on in the region for jobs at the time. So obviously that has to be looked at again. We know with COVID and the technology, people can now also work remotely, so that will have some impact on that. You'll also notice the circumventual highway was mentioned in the existing chapter
Many times.
many times. So it was probably a result of that happening. It was on the TIP plan, Jay, as when this was written before. It was already on the 10-year transportation plan. So they designed this whole strategy. This chapter is the strategy when you get to number 6, right? What we have to deliver based on that circumventual highway. You'll see it break it up with, do we have sewerage or not sewerage, right? That was a big discussion back then, because you could have used the sewerage with the bridge, right? Making that happen, so they did break that up. All right, so with that, let me just get there here. I'm gonna tell you what I see happening, but again, I'm open to change. I'm thinking, so we went through this, what stays? It sounds like the circumventual highway is staying, because right now it's still eminent domain, right? So I think some of that piece.
I mean,
is
the
breaking.
highway is not.
Oh, no,
there
not the
will be
highway, but the land, the commercial piece.
There's
of
land,
it.
but
Yeah,
there will
I'm
be no
just-
circumferential highway.
Yes, I agree with that. I'm
So
just meant the land.
In Jason's note to the board today, he
Yeah,
makes
let's
a
wait
very
on
good
that.
point about pushing.
Let's wait on that right
reps,
now.
right.
Yeah, yeah, that's gonna be number 3. And that's another reason, Kim, you did some statistics on if land moved, how much would it cost the tax base and all of that. All right, I still see some of this staying, because the land is still eminent domain. We're probably not gonna get sewer, I don't know. We will have a discussion on that, so some pieces that may be removed. I am thinking we're gonna look at this right now. It doesn't take long, I just did it in 20 minutes. We'll look at it, and I think we're gonna keep what's here, but we're also gonna fold in what we came up with for our survey and our focus group, to make sure that they all work together. Does that make sense so far? Again, we might have a surprise, but at least look at that. Okay. And again, not only that, because we've had other ideas in the group as well. So just quickly, if you go here through it, I'm on page 1. Do you guys have the economic? It's posted in the portal if you need it.
Yep.
So Jay and I, we really went through this. I'm just looking at section A. I know obviously the introduction is going to change on that. The population and housing, and the 4th bullet down, you now have the current numbers for 2024, right? So all that's there. I didn't see anything else. It goes into section B, the economic base of the Nashua region and also Litchfield. So this data here was pulled by NRPC before. I have seen this on some economic reports back in the day. I'm not sure where NRPC pulled them from.
You're talking about the table?
Yeah, I'm looking at the table. So,
It's, most all of this is, the sources are noted, but it's
Yeah.
employment security data,
yeah, it's all
so
labor. Yeah,
it can all be updated.
perfect. And anything tax-wise that you need, we can hopefully pull with all the data that we've been reviewing as a group as
Yeah,
well.
the tax stuff was all taken directly from the assessing
Yep.
data.
All right, so you think you can get this graph here, if you need it, of, in the Nashua region, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean,
largest
all
em-
this data can be updated.
So page 4, the largest employees in the Nashua region.
Same thing.
Yeah, I know we're going more military with BAE and Dean Kamen, we got a cluster going, but whoever it is, right, could be
We
retail, I
did
don't know.
then too, we
So we
just
can get
called
all
it
that.
Lockheed Martin.
Yep,
Right,
yeah, Lockheed, we got another one from Lockheed, we did?
it was Lockheed Martin then.
Well, there was no BAE when this was
Oh,
done.
gotcha, I thought they meant, they came in. Does Lockheed exist anymore? Cause I always remember all the other ones merging. Okay,
There's no
so-
Teradyne, there's no Nashua
I
Corp,
know,
yeah.
I'm
it's
looking at
every-
these.
A lot of things have
they're
changed.
gone, so it's gonna have to be updated, right?
Oh,
Private industry, let me
major
just
way.
look here. I'm going on to page 6 of 33 at the moment. The labor force and wagers, I think you can get that off the, you got the sources listed here, right, for the employment and security?
Yep.
All right, again, we know people are working remotely, but that's just the way the technology worked. All right, labor summary on page 8. Older. Our economic base in Litchfield, I'm on page 9, Litchfield's largest employers at the time. Different today, huh? Very
Page
different.
9 you're at?
On
right.
page 9, if you look at the
Still the
business
school
base of
Oh, it'll
Litchfield,
still be the school district for sure.
yeah,
Litchfield Labor Force.
education, school,
It'll still be
so
the
page, so
largest.
we're just going through it quickly, just so we are aware that we know Jay has what he needs to update this chapter, but it sounds like you can get this also by, pulling the data from here.
Yep.
Yeah, some of them still exist, nice. All right, so again, it looked at Litchfield for workforce, and it looked at the region. All right, property taxes on page 10. So it looked like it looked at the towns in the NRPC area, the 13 towns, right?
Yep.
So I guess we can pull that out.
Yep.
Some numbers are gonna jump higher and other towns are not.
Oh, no, they'll all jump.
Oh, they're all gonna jump, but I know like Bedford just went off the charts. All right, one on top of page 11, I'm not sure what that actually means. Equalized full value property tax rates, can you pull that off of?
You get it from the
Avatar.
equalization survey.
Okay, so you know where to get that?
Yep.
Okay. Gross, the property assessments, okay, we have current data now, right? All right,
Yep,
so
we
you can
do.
pull all that, right?
Yep.
All right, obviously, we have to update the verbiage to match it. All right, so page 12, Rodonis Farm, where the circumferential highway will be joined Route 3A. Okay, so that's obviously gonna be removed, or
Yeah.
replaced with something,
a-
I'm not sure.
I mean, this all changes.
Yeah, this is all gonna change.
Wanna wait until,
Hmm?
you might wanna wait until tax setting time, considering we just went through a.
Yeah. Well, when is that coming due? When does that actually come in?
I don't know
November?
If you wanna go for last year's data or this
Right.
year's data.
I'm sorry, start at the beginning there, Kim?
The tax rate's being set when?
October.
Tax rate will be set October,
October.
end of October.
So maybe this is the last section that we can populate.
But since you had a full revaluation, you're equalized.
Yeah, I mean, it would take the planning board a while to
Yeah.
get through this anyway.
I'm looking at page 13, third bullet down, or third paragraph. In 1996, it just says 168 local sales of property types. Can you pull this information of lands transferring when you do your
Where
statistics?
are you?
I'm on page 13 now. I'm just showing that it says that it pulls, like, third paragraph down, 1996, 168 local sales of,
Probably. I don't remember the data source, but probably.
but again, okay, so that,
That's all Litchfield, 168
Oh,
for
back in
$18 million?
1996.
That wasn't from our sales ratio report?
I don't
So
remember, I
we'll
mean, it was
find that out.
1996 data, I don't remember where that came from. I think it says, according to data from the Greater Nashua Chamber of Commerce.
It does.
We can tell you exactly
It
how the
does.
sales,
perfect.
Yeah,
the sales ratio report as
I
that.
like the average price back then, 107,000.
But that math doesn't work though, does it?
So
If you-
obviously this section will be updated, right?
107,000 times 168.
Right. Okay, so next, future development.
this is really the crux of what,
Yeah, it's coming after this, but it has the infrastructure that went around, right? We do have the airport now, we do have 293, right? We have beautiful infrastructure here,
Airport
it's here,
Access Road happened, yes.
it's all here. So
Airport's
again,
a-
this might be updated.
Airport, of course, is not a fraction of what it was.
Oh,
The airport doesn't impact us tremendously. The other end, the circumferential highway is where we sort of got hosed when that went away.
I know, yeah.
I
we
think
did.
this was thinking back in 2002,
It
like
was.
with this expansion of the airport, we're gonna see booming,
Yeah.
and we didn't. And I don't think we are going to. I think where you're seeing that boom is in Pettingill Road, at Londonderry, you're seeing it all there. I don't think it's trickling down to Litchfield.
That's exactly right. It happened in Londonderry.
But, and I don't think we're gonna get any benefit from that, so I
Uh.
think that whole thought back in 2002 was, well, Litchfield's gonna be booming because you got the circumferential highway, yeah, the airport, you're gonna see this development, and we got nothing.
What
The
did
only thing we
happen,
got was
293.
LKQ, is the only one that came down here, because we're
But
near to the
290
highway.
But 293, you were no longer landlocked.
with
It
the
was-
airport access road, what did happen, which has an impact on the economy, is that commuting patterns changed.
Yes.
Well, and it made Litchfield even a bigger bedroom community.
It did.
With easy access to the highway, not necessarily bringing any business.
So, like, one of the changes we saw is that Merrimack became a major commuter destination. And of course, Londonderry has too.
We have had some businesses look at the outer areas of the airport and then look at Litchfield too, right? For some warehousing like LKQ,
Just
right?
the one.
Just the
Just
one?
LKQ and
Wow,
Bar-
We
and
only got
Barron's.
the one, okay.
And
And they
Barron's
came,
wanted to
I'm
come
glad
here.
they did. All right, so we're, again, 2002 thinking, right? But they did, we do have nice highways here now. Number 6, the next page, 16 of 33, whatever, the circumferential highway. So, again, I think we need to look at this. The highway obviously is not gonna happen, but we might wanna mention something about that land is still the commercial district as of now. Whether we change it or not, it's another story, but, right? So I'm not sure what we're gonna do with this piece yet.
Well,
It's
I think,
canceled, I guess we can update that.
I mean, well, I think what's important here is that basically the primary focus of the town's industrial, economic development strategy was centered on, there's going to be a circumferential highway with an interchange at 3A. We've rezoned all of this land, commercial and industrial, in anticipation of the highway. And we're looking at the potential for getting sewer from Merrimack, which would be on the bridge. And this is going to be major retail and major industry, and we're gonna focus on marketing it and attracting, I mean, that was the strategy. So I think what it really comes down to from this committee is that was the strategy. We know that that's not going to happen. So what is the strategy now? That's really the crux of it.
That's what we're gonna come up with number 3, plus some.
And it was completely rational and reasonable for the
Yeah.
town to have this approach at that time. It made sense, it just didn't pan out.
And when you told me on the phone, oh, they expected a mall,
They did.
and they did, I said, well, are they accepting of it today? But before they were told it was coming, right, it was coming, so they were
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
try to get the mall.
But that's, I mean, if you look at that, commercial land with a highway interchange and sewer, of course you could be looking at a mall.
Right.
And in, 2002, no one thought that we weren't gonna continue to see malls and shopping centers. That seemed reasonable. So it really made sense at the time when people first heard talk of the outlet, of an interest in developing an outlet mall. People thought Litchfield was a viable location. There was a time when people thought that the Verizon Arena would be here. Because same thing, they were looking to build an arena in the region. And people thought, hey, look at all the land we have the highway access, so.
The industrial park, they were talking about that as well.
Absolutely, and it wasn't, it wasn't pie in the sky. DOT was purchasing the right-of-way for the circumferential. It was real. It was going through the permitting process. I mean, it wasn't just some future pipe dream. It was something where you saw things actually happening, and money was allocated in the 10-year plan. So, I mean, obviously it fizzled. I believe it was 2007, if I'm remembering correctly, when the EPA vetoed the northern section. And that's what killed this, that's what killed
So
having a
what,
complete.
I don't remember what the reason the EPA killed it for what reason?
There was a lot of talk of different reasons, but the primary reason was that the wetlands impacts were viewed as unacceptable, that they were unacceptably high. There was also, you were also seeing a general shift in thinking among many, especially in the environmental community, and that we shouldn't be building new highways. So that was kind of bubbling up in the background, if that's what it was. So they vetoed the northern half. They kept the southern piece up to 111 alive. And so there was still hope.
There was also a lot of public hearings and a lot of opposition.
A lot of opposition, for sure, including in Litchfield.
So the current 2002 strategy we're looking at really did its job, keeping this center residential. I think they knew
Yeah.
this was gonna boom at the time, right? And it has maintained that, right? So,
Yeah.
that part was fine. And Litchfield, I don't think could have done anything differently from this outcome. There's nothing that could happen. All right, so I think section 6 here, maybe I'd explain that it's
It's probably 3 sentences.
gone. But the land at the moment, it could change next year, but at the land today that was taken by the state or DOT is still being held by them, right?
Yeah.
All right, so that could be the comment. All right,
Is the
so,
process, it is held by DOT.
Yeah.
It is DOT's process,
Yes.
not the legislature.
yeah, it's not, and I think too, the state also
Explained
has
to
their
us very
own,
clearly.
yeah. The state also has their own plan probably as well, which we probably don't see, right?
There is a plan for a portion of
Yeah,
that land.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So what is that plan?
That plan involves water and a conversation with Pennachuck and DES. And that is actively ongoing. We are monitoring that situation because of the Pennachuck warrant article. And our consultants that are working for the Board of Selectmen are monitoring that for us.
Okay. Now, that does bring up a point. Maybe this shouldn't wait another 20 years, maybe in 5 years be looked at again. The outcome of that, right? But, okay. All right, I'm on the next page, so
We probably waited a little long.
just wait a little longer. It was interesting on page 18, the build-out analysis and the fiscal impact analysis that was done back then. And they even give definitions. I'm on the first paragraph, E. See how it says build-out and fiscal impact? Then if you go to the end of that paragraph, it says the Litchfield build-out analysis tells you what that is, right? Places the non-residential, so people know the definition. And if you go to the second paragraph, it tells you what fiscal impact analysis is. So, we're not sure if this is still applicable. I don't know, we're kind of in a,
Nothing in here is applicable.
it's not applicable, but again, because there's nothing there yet, right? So, anyway, just be aware. I like the definitions, but I don't know if they apply. I don't know yet, so that's just my question. So that one's just a question right now. I'm not sure if we're gonna be using that. But the build-out with the sewers, without the sewers, right? So this committee, I don't know, do we think the sewers are coming?
I don't think you'd get sewage passed here.
Right, so,
Because I think the price in here was 18 million then or something, right?
yeah, there's a price in there.
Right, the thinking was that because you have all of this potential for commercial and industrial development, if you have sewer, you have a lot more potential. That's why this analysis was in here, and the fiscal analysis was in here, because what it was all leading up to is you can create a TIF district, which
Yes.
will create the tax value that will pay for the sewer infrastructure.
Yeah, that's further in the chapter.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
but
further
that's
down.
why this analysis is here, because what it's doing is laying the groundwork of saying, if you have sewer, this is what your development potential will be, this is what the fiscal impact will be, therefore, we will be able to have enough value to create a TIF district to bring the sewer.
So TIF is on page 28. this
Right,
one. So
but
is
this
that
is all
still,
leading into that analysis.
is that still active today? Is this TIF?
No, there never was a TIF district.
No, I know that, but is this TIF financial methodology?
think it still
The
exists.
process of creating the TIF?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, sorry,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just sorry if I don't know that. All right, but
Oh, yeah.
we do talk about it in page 28.
It's just we don't
Alright.
have any value, so.
Yeah.
So as a committee, are we going to make a, but when Jay rewrites this, do you want the sewerage versus none?
Does Hudson have sewage, or are they
Yes, from Nashua,
from Nashua?
through an intermunicipal agreement with Nashua, and there is not a chance that, none,
That Nashua would take our stuff?
that Nashua would take the stuff, or that Hudson would give up any of their, it wouldn't happen.
So, can you
I
list that
don't-
in
I
the
don't even
report?
think
Why
it-
that's-
I don't
I
think
mean,
it's a
I
matter
didn't know
of
that
want-
information.
It's
of
not even
wanting,
right.
it's a matter of dissent, it's
Capacity.
a matter of they're under decrees and,
Oh.
and same with Manchester.
Right.
So, those two.
So,
But that was a big discussion and Lou Karen, and Steve
Yeah.
Doobie had a lot of analysis done back then of whether there was any, availability through Hudson to Nashua, which was a bigger conversation. But
Right.
Nashua has extensive sewer projects.
Yes.
this is where the sewer pipe would have been
infrastructure
with the
that needs
bridge,
to be-
Would have been over the
No,
bridge,
it
yeah,
would have been from Merrimack.
would have been
Yeah.
Merrimack's, okay.
but over the river.
So it sounds,
Merrimack may have capacity. I think they do. Whether they're willing to give up any, I don't know, but it comes back to the same question.
Yeah, you'd have to put it on the bottom of the river.
It would be very, very
Wouldn't fly.
difficult to do and very, very expensive. It's not realistic, I think. It's just not realistic.
Agreed.
so it sounds like the build out without sewers, you're saying.
Well, there isn't even a
With
build out, I
sewers.
mean, because keep in mind that the assumption was we had a highway interchange. We
Right.
have no highway interchange.
True,
So right now, what we have is, we have Wilson Farm.
Yep.
Basically. We have other
Piece of
land
it,
there too,
piece of it.
but, almost everything that we're talking about is farmland right now.
okay.
Any sewer systems the other way?
Londonderry?
Londonderry doesn't, right? Londonderry doesn't.
Don't they have a water treatment plant
I
right
don't
off
know
the
that-
highway?
I don't know if
Exit
Londonderry
four?
doesn't have
Londonderry?
anything.
I don't know who
Derry
owns
does.
this. I see it.
Derry
Derry
does.
does.
Right at exit
Jerry
4,
does.
right?
Yeah.
Cause Derry comes
Derry
through
has sewer.
us to the,
Londonderry might have some sewer from Manchester, but I'm not sure.
Isn't it right off the highway when you get on exit 4? Is that Londonderry or Derry over there? Exit 4 on 93.
Londonderry. It's
When you
Londonderry.
get on the highway to go south, it's
yeah.
over there on the left. It's huge. It looks like a water treatment plant to me, but no
I never
expert
knew
here.
what it was, cause it's all baking in the sun, but
Mm.
yeah, I don't know.
I would think if Londonderry has any, it's from Manchester.
That's what I think too. I think they may have some from Manchester. Like up at the airport, I think
I mean,
they've
I
got
know
some.
Derry has their own, which,
There's like Stonyfield, the yogurt folks. I'd be surprised. I can't imagine they're on septic.
no, I can't either.
So there must be some up there.
Must be some.
Yeah, but I don't see any coming here.
The northern part of town to Manchester, you said Manchester, you'd have to talk to Manchester, see if they even wanted to do it, right?
Yeah. I don't know
Manchester
that-
has issues when it rains real hard too, so.
All right,
But it's also, it's fantastically expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to have development potential that makes it worth a sewer extension.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very expensive.
You'd have to have a guarantee, you'd have to have something in hand before you could even go down that road.
Right.
You couldn't do it to try to draw somebody. You'd have to have somebody who says, I wanna come there.
Oh, I mean, you need a major development
Yeah.
that says, we need the sewer, we've done the exploration, it's feasible, so, we'll extend it.
Wanna do it through TIF, you couldn't do it.
You couldn't do
You
it, you
couldn't
just
do it
couldn't.
on local taxes.
No.
No,
Couldn't.
I can't imagine a warrant article passing.
All right, so that's gonna be all removed then, right? We don't need that.
I mean, that's what, I think it's just unreal.
Does anybody
I think it's unrealistic. I mean, I think what's been pretty clear through this process is we're talking about a much, lower scale development.
Okay,
And I think on page 23 of the chapter, I think it's important to note, at least as far as this committee is, it says it's difficult to define what level of commercial development may occur without sewers.
Right.
So I think from our standpoint is, we know that we're not going to get sewer, so that economic development that's gonna come, commercial, industrial, otherwise, is going to be very limited, because we just don't have the infrastructure or the capacity.
Right.
yeah, 23 has other interesting stuff there too.
And I'm not so
Good
sure,
point.
I mean, based on our public input, that that's what people want.
No, and I think you're right, I think people, from our survey, they want more of the small scale, the restaurants, the bakeries, the
Yes.
community gathering spots. But if the Board of Selectmen's thinking of, well, what if we don't have the capacity for it? One, people don't want it, and two, if it was wanted, we don't have that capacity based on our infrastructure.
That was on our SWOT, yeah, way back. All right, page 20 then, what's this? Recent new commercial development? We've had some, so that
We've had
chart
some,
could
sure,
be updated,
absolutely.
that 6-8. What is this next section two?
I'm sorry, Kim.
Oh,
were
I'm
you-
on page 20,
Yep,
number 1. Not number 1, but item, section 1, characteristics of recent new commercial development. So that we've had activity, we've
Yeah.
had new commercial development in town, so that can go in there. Yeah, I wasn't sure of this formula on number 2, I'm not that, what is this formula for number 2? I'm still on page 20.
It's estimating fiscal impacts.
Okay, because we're gonna be talking about impact fees in a few minutes, but, all right, is that still gonna be applicable?
Probably not, because again, this was all leading into that TIF discussion,
Okay.
basically.
So you know to remove that then? Well.
We'd certainly have a conversation, though, in here around tax value of
Yes.
different properties that we could do.
That's coming up. Okay. So this, you're saying this section 2 is based off that circumferential highway? Or is it based off of the new commercial development? I wasn't sure.
Well, it was all building up to the argument of, creating a TIF district to attract sewer.
Okay, so you needed that.
That's why
data.
there was so much of a focus on value, on
Okay,
tax value.
which explains the chart on the next page that really broke it down into these formulas.
Exactly.
But one of the numbers would be bigger, but I was thinking, do we even need this, so. So again, it depends what goes into the new commercial development, if any go in there, right? All right, so this is probably staying or going?
I don't see a reason to do it.
I don't, does anybody see a big,
to include this?
so this is the formula, the money you would need, right? This is figuring out the property values.
Right.
So these numbers would have plugged into your TIF application?
Right, because what you'd have to be doing a calculation of is figuring out what are you really gonna net?
I definitely did not understand that chart.
Yeah, I said, do we need it? All right, is everyone ready to move on to 22? 'Cause there's something interesting there. Again, second paragraph, I wasn't sure, it says non-residential properties in Litchfield. I'm at the second paragraph here. Consists of business properties, utilities, and some farmland and undeveloped land. I don't know, this excluding the current use values from the total commercial property value. You have these numbers, 9.8% back then.
I mean, we can certainly talk about the value of commercial property in town today. We
So you
could,
just update that
we could
section with new
put that
numbers.
information in.
Okay.
Why the current use, was referenced here is because same thing will be true today. A huge percentage of commercially zoned land is in current use.
Right. And you did those numbers several months ago, right?
See, we had a method to the, which means if anything you need, it's all in the back, and those, all those things we reviewed.
Yeah.
All right.
Down. Wow.
But, wait, that's why I'm saying, if we wait August, when we report
Until we
September
the
one,
reval, yeah.
we got all the, that
Yeah.
new commercial, and that proportion will change.
Oh, that's, yeah, we should totally
significantly.
wait for that.
Is
Yeah.
that up on Rose Meadows?
Right,
Yeah, that's a
yeah,
huge
so
peak.
when
That
you
should be-
add that commercial, these will shift,
It's a-
and
okay.
you may be
More like the
Eight.
9.8.
So isn't that already part of the number? Or because now it's, I don't know if he's done over there or not, but,
He's not done.
So the numbers that we have were based on the MS1 last September 1st, and that was not included.
okay.
So the MS1 for this September 1st will be based on anything that existed as of April 1 in Litchfield.
But the other parts of the report can be worked on. This piece here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just
I
put
mean,
in these
it's a big
numbers,
piece.
we'll have them.
It's a big
And
number.
the MS1 will have September 1st.
And this next paragraph under it goes into the municipal property tax revenues, so numbers can be pulled, right?
Yep.
Okay. Do you think that's a tough one, Kim? It's a,
What?
this paragraph here, the second big paragraph, it's about 20 lines long. So you have the municipal property tax revenues, right, 2.1%. Can this be pulled out of Avatar, or, I'm not sure where
Yeah.
NRPC
Oh,
got
yeah.
this
Yeah,
before.
it's easy to pull.
Oh,
off.
yeah.
Okay, so
Sorry,
so
can
you're
you
just
read
gonna
it?
update those
You're in the
numbers
third
as well?
paragraph?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can pull
See this
all
big
that.
paragraph here, you're looking at
Yeah.
it, yeah, that big 20, yeah. All of those numbers there, hopefully you said you can pull them out of our tax software. Okay, good. All right, what's this last table at the bottom? Local public service, the cost of local public services for all existing businesses. Okay, I'm not sure that looks like a calculation
Yeah,
from
there's
before, up in this chart on the back page, yeah.
there's no reason to update
Okay,
that.
so that's on the prior page 21, that, all of that, step 1 through 14, right?
Are these numbers that are in here, that's like a industry standard, for lack of a better term?
No, it's kind of, once again, it was Litchfield specific, but it was all based on coming up with that net, value, that, what's the town gonna actually realize in the end for the TIF district? That's all this
Okay.
is.
So one of-
All about the TIF district.
So one of their not grants, but applications, the financing was gonna be that. Because we're trying to look at funding for us as well, right? But anyway, you were building up to this TIF before.
Yeah.
And I can see your formula where it says step 1, step 8,
Yeah.
right? So those
Yeah.
next two can go, right? Top of 23 can go. Although, let's see,
Table V111?
what about V11? Because it looks, you're doing
Again,
step 12, step 14 in
No
there.
reason.
It's a continuation of the same
Yeah.
table.
It's all the same thing.
But the last paragraph I thought was interesting, right before number 3. It talked about, in fact, revenue side, the equation must be conservative since Litchfield assesses impact fees against new development. I had that whole paragraph starred. Impact fees provide significant one-time revenues to offset the municipal spending, right?
Are you saying what you are looking at may be conservative?
They're saying that, I believe that what they're saying is it's conservative because this analysis doesn't include any revenue that the town would get from impact fees. This is strictly, what are you gonna get off the taxes?
Okay, I get it.
Yep.
If you read it, yeah, you can read it that way for sure.
Okay. So we don't, I mean, it's a statement, but do we need it?
No.
I like it in general, just for education, but
Not if it's related to the TIF.
not
thing,
if it's for
Yeah.
TIF, no, I
I'm not
agree with
going
TIF,
down the
but I
TIF
did like
road.
the definitions were nice. All right, let's see, number 3, I didn't know who this Milton, Vermont town planner, but it was interesting.
That's because the committee at that time was doing a lot of, they were doing outreach, so they talked to, different people to help advise them on
Okay, yeah,
putting together the strategy. That was just one of the people.
okay. It looks like they compared it to this Catamount Industrial Park.
Yeah.
All right, I did check off those 4 bullets on page 24, warehouses. Oh, I'm about on page 23.
Vermont. It's in Vermont, so.
Yeah, it's in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's,
So they guess they developed their industrial park without sewer, so.
Is this the one that said it had a really big septic though, or something?
It would have to have had a huge one, yes.
again, the bullets, warehouses, offices, high-tech, we were gonna do all that, yep.
Yeah, the facility provides sanitary sewage treatment utilizing an individual septic system.
We talked about that here, Hooksett does that too, right? That
Similarly, the
big-
new Kimball High School with a 550 person will have sewage treatment through a large-scale on-site septic system. So you just would have to have a massive septic
Right.
tank to do it.
Is it Hooksett or Bedford, that big Target or something, one of those stores up there, they suck the tank out like once a week. They don't have a septic, right, they just have tanks. Yeah, it's somebody, one of those businesses up on the hill, they don't, they just
I think,
get it
I
removed
think
every
they have
week.
sewer in that development.
Yeah, 'cause there's.
They did, I'm pretty sure they did a TIF
Target,
district, in
there's-
fact, to get sewer there for that
Oh,
whole.
I landed a lot of
Right,
stars on the
yes.
next one. Oh, what page are
did.
we on, 25,
did.
because we're coming up to more steps again. All right, so
Still on
page-
24.
are we done with 24?
You might be, but I don't.
Anybody see anything with 24, when you guys read it? All right, so 25. All right, again, the implementing of sewers, cost of infrastructure, this is where you started to generate some really 11,200,000 over 15 years. So again,
I suspect that
Go
over
away.
23 years that.
costs went up quite a bit.
I would guess it's,
So I think that's gonna be removed.
Yes.
All right,
would
and then I
assume
think the next page with your formulas again.
Yep.
And that would be page 26, then 27. We're almost done, we only go to 33, or 30-something. All right, so we don't need,
yeah,
And
13
you're
or
done there.
14. Then the TIF district goes.
yeah, the last paragraph I thought was interesting before I didn't know it was out of scope. Higher, I'm looking at the last paragraph, the analysis shows the higher per unit property values provide more revenues than development with lower property values. Instituting a wastewater treatment alternative in Litchfield could enable higher density development, of course, right?
Right.
And then we get the soil constraints, okay. All right. Okay, higher densities, all right, so we're almost wrapping up with this chapter here. Before we fold in our new stuff, but. All right, so page 28 was a question on the second paragraph. Should Litchfield seek to further explore the design and installation of a centralized sewer or decentralized on-site wastewater treatment system? What does the economic development team think?
I don't think that would happen.
All right. Excellent. I just want to hear, there's your TIF now. What are TIFs used for, but other than sewage? Are they used for anything else? Any other
Oh,
structure?
all the time.
Sorry, I don't know.
Nash was using it for the Riverwalk.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know this, I maybe didn't know the.
Roads.
Okay.
Yeah,
So we can use them for other things.
we
We're
could.
almost done here. All right, non-residential, what is this? Discussion of the non-residential fiscal impact analysis.
It's pretty much the same thing. This is all about the sewer. And
Yeah, non-residential means commercial to me, right?
Yeah, that is what it means.
Again, that double negative is, all right, is this residential or non-residential? All right, so that's, 29 does not look applicable. I did like the middle, though, at the middle paragraph. In 2000, the community updated the impact fee schedule in order to generate higher collections in line with the increasing public service demand attributed to new development. This is actually an important chapter.
Where?
I'm on page 29,
Okay,
even though it's really not applicable, because non-residential to me is commercial, but I still like that 2000, the third paragraph down.
yeah,
So that, because again, I'm just thinking the impact fees when we get to SIP, I'm just putting the idea in my head. The community updated the impact fee schedule in order to generate higher collections in line with the increasing public service demand attributable to the new development. The problem prior to the update was that the impact fees were lagging the actual cost of providing public service to new development. So 2000, I'm going down a few sentences now. In 2000, the capital improvement plan, right? Educational, recreational needs, right? Anyway, I just thought it was interesting. Why I did that is, I didn't come on to SIP until what, two years ago maybe? So it was started up again. Remember it had kind of halted for a while and then it was reinstated. So I don't know when people update these fee schedules. I know we did it last year. We do them, but I just didn't know. This seemed to be a lag here that they were noticing. I don't know if we're noticing that today? I guess that's my question.
I don't think we've had a lag lately, you know, I mean, we've been pretty aggressive at updating
All
the
right,
CIP
I just wanna make
every
sure they
single
took-
year, looking at the fee schedule, so.
So in 2000, it looks like they revisited it, and I don't know what happened
Yes.
between 2000 and 2 years ago when I joined, if they revisited it again. So we think we're good for SIP and
Yeah, I don't know
no
how long,
lag?
that was a
Yeah,
long
I
time
think-
ago, I don't know how
I-
long
Make
they
sure we're
went.
collecting the, okay.
They might have gone
I
years.
think it stresses the importance of keeping your capital improvement plan up to date.
Mhm.
So your capital improvement plan will impact your
understand.
impact fees.
It does talk there
And we
too
can
about
talk about that in here, I think that,
Yeah, it
that
is.
does
Yep.
make sense.
Yep, and the sewer comes in, you're right, the second to the last paragraph
Mhm.
on page 29 talks about that with the sewers. I don't know if they were trying to collect money for that.
Not through impact fees.
Okay, so, okay. I like the last paragraph. Commercial development appears to provide a significant source of supplemental tax revenue for the community. That's if it went through, right?
And if you had
That's
sewage.
if it went through.
If you had sewage and
Now.
if,
Yeah, so it was unfortunate that this happened. All right. All right, we're almost done. I'm on page 30, unless anybody else has anything on 29? Okay. All right, page 29. Okay, so.
page 30, the second paragraph.
Aye, so we are developing a strategy, right? Kind of working
Right.
with the old strategy, but folding in some new things, right? So, I had a smiley face, but I don't know if I should, but anyway. I like how they called it the Regional Economic Delivery System. I'm on the third paragraph in I. So that EDWG was the prior Economic Development Committee, right? That
Yes.
they came up with this strategy for commercial development in Litchfield. So the three bullets that they wanted was provide planned and coordinated approach for economic development for all residents. Same today, right? Broaden and increase the job and tax base, so it looks like they were focusing more on jobs than companies, because they knew they were getting a lot at the southern part.
Well, they
right?
thought they were gonna have a big
They
commercial
thought they were
area
gonna have a big one
at the south end
yeah,
of
so
town.
job, and preserve the rural agricultural community character. All right, it gets into 1 through 4 here, and then it wraps up. Jay and I we went through these last bullets of future economic development on the last 2 pages, but let's just go 1 page back to 31.
Can we just go
Yeah,
back to?
yeah, you're on
uh,
page 30?
No, on 30. So
Yeah.
I think, the strategy, I think those first 3 paragraphs was talking about where we think Litchfield is back in 1999 or, 2002. And I think from this committee's point of view, I think it'd be important for the committee to identify where we think we are, where we think we're going, because that's gonna impact the goals, the 3 that you just talked about, Kim, and then when you get into 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
So I don't know if, the group wants to have a little bit of discussion, because that first 3 paragraphs for this, and I think this is really the key of why we're here, the economic development strategy, it talks about, residential growth starting, and that, the Manchester Airport, I think we've said that that's not helping us, so I think looking at this and kind of seeing where we think we're at,
Yep.
might be helpful before we go into the remaining, if we think that, we're gonna be strapped a little bit because we're not going to have infrastructure, we're not gonna have sewer. The Manchester Airport didn't trickle down in the way we thought it was going to, now we got rid of the the highway. Like, where do we see we are in order to move forward with our strategy?
I agree, so I put crosses out on ones that didn't make sense and check marks here that did. I have, so did everyone have a chance to read this, or are we kind of reading it now, it's okay? Yeah,
I think your commercial availability is going to be condos and apartments
Yes.
and things that contain people.
Along with some coffee shops and maybe a destination restaurant.
I agree.
That's
Gonna
it.
be it.
It
That's
is
gonna
it,
be it.
because what they wanted on the survey and focus groups is not gonna help defray your tax basis. It's not gonna help.
No, no.
So that is our so let's be real, we figured that out week 3. Oh, well, after the survey, we just looked at it and went, what they want
No.
Mm-hmm.
is not gonna solve and give them any relief. So then we ended up looking under every rock we could. Remember everything we were pulling in for reports, because when we got to this stage, we could say whether it made sense or not based on the data research that we had done, right? All the taxes, the land, how much land is available, all of that. So, I agree. So again, what I did is I kinda checked off the ones that didn't make sense anymore, and some probably still did, but you're right, there's new things on it that should be added. So, I would say before we do that though, and I agree, if we can just look at the last 2 pages real quick, the bullets, cause that might help with our answer for you, for our whole group. Because when we went over these J2, some of them are still applicable. So this last section on page 32, we have these bullets of future economic development objectives. So every master plan that we've done like 5 together. Jeremy's done 3, Marion's done 1. You always have a last section to say, hey, in the future, if you want, there's some things you could do, right? So I think number 1 did not happen. A formal economic development system, hire an economic development specialist, that did not. So that's an X, and I don't think that's going to.
No.
Is that gonna be a recommendation from our group here, to hire an economic development? So I will say, Jay, you were hired at NRPC based on your economic development experience. So we knew we had you coming
Yeah.
in for that, and you've had like
And,
3.
again, that was also, I
Yep.
mean, thinking at that time that
Yep.
there were gonna be literally hundreds of acres to promote.
Yep.
And-
True, and that would make sense that you would need that type
Right.
of a person to
Yeah.
facilitate that.
So J is not our,
Well, I'm just
hire-
saying for
Oh,
this
I can't believe
project.
there's not hundreds of acres to promote.
right, but I'm
this
just saying,
project.
before we dismiss
Yeah.
one
Okay,
bullet
that's a
point,
fair
when
point.
it's in
And
its
I will.
entirety, do we wanna say we don't wanna develop a formal economic development system? Or that it's not needed to address opportunities as they arise?
There's gonna be more in here on exploring things.
Okay.
So you can put a question mark to come
Okay.
back to that for
Okay.
sure.
I mean,
It's gonna be hard financially.
Well, financially, right.
you might finagle the wording a little bit. It does say as they arise, so I suppose that's,
All right, investigate and apply for outside funds to assist local development such as underwrite marketing, publicity campaigns, and assist wastewater treatment development.
probably not the last part of
No,
that
but
sentence.
The last part of that sentence.
we did have somebody wanted one of the focus group, Eric, wanted a directory, right, for the
Yep.
businesses, so. I don't know if we need outside funds to do that. We probably have a list of businesses in the town, unless people have home businesses, right?
You probably don't need, well, the thinking here was, also kind of doing some sort of marketing and promotion.
Right.
If you wanted to do that, you could apply for a grant.
Yeah, marketing's gonna come up again, or it might have already. It's coming down like formal bullets, a marketing strategy. So, but yeah, I think marketing, I don't know if it's probably on the web as well, but, on our town website, but something.
Do you think that ties into, charge number 4? where it
Yeah,
says- So I would probably keep it and reword it, just investigate and apply for outside funds to assist local development. And I think that's basically what 4 says in our charge.
Yep.
Because 4 says advocate for state and federal grants, incentives, or for improvement in regulations, so
Yep.
it's somewhat similar to charge number
Grants
4.
and funds are, well, let's keep it over. I don't need another color. Let me get my red pen out. Let me just circle, so let's look at local development, right? We'll circle funds for that. All right, communicate with local businesses, including home-based businesses, to understand their needs and define economic initiatives to promote the development and expansion. You have that, and you've mentioned once your business in your home gets too big, then you have to go buy something in the commercial section, right, or move, mixed use or something, so. We did hear from our focus group, person who wanted, to look at the residential businesses, right? Not a Route 3 overlay business, but the other businesses
Right.
like off Albuquerque or something,
Well, his issue was that he felt, if I recall correctly, that our home occupation ordinance was too restrictive. So maybe a recommendation could be that that should be reviewed.
Okay, so that was number 4, so we're gonna call that home occupational. And I do agree with Laura, you kind of mentioned in passing, but I agree with you, we did spend a lot of time on that, and I think are generous, and then now you're being forced to adhere to the state rules with that, with licensing, and, you know, there's a lot going on, right, whether they go to the planning board or not, right? So you
Depends
have
on
done a
the
lot
use.
of work on it.
And I think we're right in line with home occupations. I think, I mean, I don't think we're restrictive at all in our regulations. I think we definitely fall in line, to allow, you know, to be generous in that while still trying to maintain a residence. I don't want a business next to me.
We could certainly review it, but
Yeah.
the planning board did spend a lot of time on
No,
that.
I think we have a nice one.
I mean, most of our home-based businesses are single person, you know, they're not 20-person companies. I mean,
They're invisible.
Jolt's moving, but they've moved over here and they're gonna have a building and
Right.
in the correct area, so.
We had like cake shops,
Yeah, I mean,
accountants, you know.
the ones that tend to be visible are childcare is more visible, or there's a few, you know, salons.
Hairdressing, nail.
That kind of thing. It's
Technicians,
not, you know, it's still pretty low key.
It's like 5 employees maybe at most,
Well,
even if that.
yeah, I don't know if we allow that many employees,
Yeah.
because then that's a business.
Yeah,
which
family
is not
member, right?
allowing, you know.
Most of them are solo,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
sole
Sole
proprietors.
proprietorships.
Yeah, it's just somebody who does it a few hours, you know, usually.
Right.
So we will make a recommendation to review our home occupation. Right.
It's-
Rules.
Or it's a reasonable response to say, it came up, let's review it.
Yep. Number 4, advocate for infrastructure priorities at the local and regional level. I think we are doing one at a local level. I think that's a keeper, right? I do, because we're
Yeah.
trying to do some infrastructure changes in town, so that's a keep. I'm not sure it's been done the last 20 years, probably. I'm assuming it has. We've had sidewalks and,
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
so we've had work done. I say leave it on the list to
The
continue.
brochures one you're talking about?
Number 4, advocate for
Advocate for-
infrastructure.
Oh, advocate, oh, yeah, yep.
So it's not like it never happened, just keep it on the list. Number 5, develop concise promotional brochures, there you go, such as a one-page color handout to attract firms interested in locating in Litchfield, but I don't know if you want, I'll say brochure, but it could be an e-brochure or directory or something.
Of course, yeah.
Okay. I don't know if that's happened.
But I mean, if we're being realistic and you're not gonna be able to bring in a bigger business because of our infrastructure,
Right.
what are you gonna advertise for? More home-based businesses?
I think we're gonna have, I think the technology is allowing for it, and I think people work remotely now, anyway, most of the
I
time.
mean, usually it comes down to what do you have to market?
Mhm.
Are there specific sites that we want to market or promote?
Yeah, I wouldn't make that one a priority. I'm kind
Yeah.
of falling in line to you. Like, what are we promoting? You know, so it's not like we have sewer or, you know, there's not like this big stuff where we can
What's
say.
to
I mean,
sell?
it doesn't hurt to keep it, but do I think we'll ever do it? Or it's more like a pie in the sky type of thing, like similar to what you were saying? I mean, you can keep it, but I don't think it's realistic that that's something that's gonna happen.
I mean, we could create something to help bring, people to Litchfield to go to any proposed businesses or to market mills and our conservation, Moore's Falls and other places in town where people can go. But not necessarily to attract business, but to attract more
Yeah.
sort of
More
half,
foot traffic.
foot traffic,
Home-based
tourism.
business does nothing to your tax base.
Does nothing, that's right.
Home-based business does absolutely nothing to your tax base.
No, it doesn't.
Like, I would kind of like this one now that we're talking it through more to, I know we had a discussion like, the riverfront walk or, kind of make it like a destination attraction along the river. Like, if we had that as one of our recommendations, then tied, this one into it to do a brochure for that, then I would be like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah,
you
that
know?
ties into the community design chapter, had that in there. Community design chapter put that in, it was like Heidi Miller.
Did they?
They had a gazebo, picnic area. All right,
I mean, the Veterans Park, Moore's Falls,
so,
Right, like a brochure like that.
River
Yeah.
I think we
Walkway.
have those.
But attracting,
No?
I think we have QR codes at some of the sites, but
I kind of picture conservation.
It's
and
private
those
property, a
type
lot of it.
Those type of properties more with the community chapter, not the economic
Economic, right, 'cause
development.
it's not really-
It doesn't.
It's just, it's not gonna
Right.
promote, it's just gonna foot
Economic
traffic. If we had
development.
businesses, then
Right,
they
but
could go
if-
out to eat.
If we ever
was
get
the
to the
thing, I
point
think
where we
they
have
wanted
a
ice cream
small
stand.
restaurant or
Right.
bakery
Yeah,
and
so it's kind of.
to drive foot traffic to those.
Okay,
Chicken
so
nuggets.
it is in that chapter, it is in the community design chapter.
I don't
Yeah.
remember it.
But,
But you, if you wanted to, you could develop, promotional materials to attract people to Litchfield, or, to attractions.
Right, right. But is that economic development? It's incidental to economic development, I
Yeah.
think, or consequential to
I
it.
suppose if it makes businesses stronger, but, which ones
So
really?
here,
conservation, recreation, right, there's a lot there too.
It's
Well, I
gonna be
think it's-
Spooky World.
Spooky World here, oh yeah, the farm stand. So I was thinking, you said, what's the draw, for some of this land? But, I had to keep reminding myself, this is the one that's in force today. Why aren't they coming today, right? We're gonna be folding in other things, but they're still not coming today.
Who's not coming?
The businesses up, like, say, the northern part of town or something.
Oh, we don't have
There's a
the
few lots left.
population and we don't have the traffic, that's why.
That's what I'm saying, so they could come today, but they're not.
You can promote it all day long if you don't have the space.
Exactly, and they can go snap up something at the airport, right? Alright. So what are we leaving with that one, just the brochure piece, and try to go into our different groups, okay? And the historic too, right, we got all of that, alright, so we have parks, conservation, rec. And the Veterans Park is a good one too, alright. Attempt to attract one or more new businesses to Litchfield. So that's kind of just saying, kind of attract, keep going and try to,
Well, specifically 15 to 25,000 square feet per year, that's just not gonna happen.
no, we have a, what's our
think it's
warehouse
necessary.
capacity?
nice dream.
Okay, so that's off the list, right?
I
Promote
would-
agriculture as a viable important to community characters, the local economy, and explore opportunities for farmers outside the area to rent or purchase prime lands for continued use as farm operations. Keep, stay, modify, what do you wanna do?
I think we already rented some land to the,
Oh, Wilson's, right?
well, the Wilsons has all that land, but McQuestion is farming the old Blueberry Field.
Right.
And I think Alveren's gonna farm some of that land too.
Somebody wanna leave it here?
I mean, it's a nice thing to say.
It's nice, I don't know if it brings in a ton of money,
I'm
it doesn't
not
bring in a
sure.
lot of money,
Right, 'cause it's still,
but it brings in the traffic, it brings in the aesthetic.
Only reason why I'm
Economical
thinking
benefit.
is keeping it because it ties into one that came up, as far as what our survey results were, that people wanted
Yeah.
to promote, agriculture and, that type of stuff, like farmer's market, so I think it may not happen, but it's what
people
one,
want it.
I think, showed us, so that's why I would say to
I
keep
know,
it.
that's a good point.
Yeah, and maybe even, I was gonna say put a period after local economy, but
Yep.
I'm not, maybe we wanna take out the explore opportunities for farmers from outside the area to rent and purchase prime agri. I don't see us going out and trying to attract farmers.
Yep.
But I think a farmer's market, that's something that's been talked about,
Right.
and that was in the
Yep.
survey, and that's a good thing to put in here.
That's good. Okay, the marketing again. Adopt a marketing strategy for economic development and tie to the regional. Are we actually in a regional corridor? You always kinda talk about 101.
And I think that probably goes back to, again, the circumferential highway being there.
I mean, there is a regional economy, for sure, and Litchfield is a part of that.
A marketing strategy for economic
Again,
development.
the marketing
ties to the
piece.
region's economic.
I don't see where we have
I don't see
teeth in that, I would
Yeah.
take it off.
Everything, all the towns around us maybe are doing that. We are not. Promote an open space development as an option to conventional non-residential development
We do
patterns.
that.
Already done, so keep doing that. Use community character guidelines to improve the layout of the commercial development. I'd say just keep it, right, kinda? Where-
Or-
Yeah, well, that's one of the,
Process, yeah, it's an ongoing thing, they're working on it right now, plenty where it is.
So even the smaller ones, you did all the renderings, but even the bigger ones that came in, you look at doors and window sizes, I mean,
Yeah,
we really
absolutely.
scrutinize.
There's design guidelines
Okay.
right now.
Promote and maintain the development of a healthy business climate.
I don't know if we can maintain it, that's assuming that we have it, I would just say promote it.
I don't know what's there to promote.
I don't know.
Well, I think it just means as a town, we need to be easy to do business with.
Right,
Oh.
yeah, no, I would keep it, just for the sake of saying that we're open for business.
It's it's a marketing
Right.
bullet.
There might be some towns that don't want economic development, so
For sure,
keep it there.
there are.
All right, I'm not sure if we have an inventory parcels in the commercial districts and identify potential development opportunities. It's a database, can have information, with mapping programs, we have that.
Well, Kim did that,
Okay.
right?
We have
You
that.
We
did
have
that, right?
that.
You put that, all the commercial properties together?
Yeah.
So we have that already.
How many, it's not many left up
It doesn't
there.
take long.
No, that's what I'm saying. All right, so we have an inventory, but we don't have a marketing. Okay.
It's good to know, though. I mean, it's just
do
good
we
to know what
need-
you have.
Do you want to keep the, just the first sentence, or do you want to keep the second where it says the database should contain information, mapping? Is this part of our
Those
marketing?
are all reasonable
Yeah,
things.
it's all-
Keep it? Check it. All right, designate and promote Litchfield's economic growth centers by highway interchanges in developing areas on Colby Road. Not really. The new town center we did do, though. Well, let's just finish the sentence so the public can hear
Yeah,
it.
I think that's all circumvental highway.
Right, for the
Get rid of
Colby,
it.
where
Well,
Albuquerque
it's the
joins Route
airport, yeah.
3. Near the intersections of Albuquerque and the Yep. But I like that last piece, and the new town center designed around the municipal building in Albuquerque. So, linked to town historic, so do we need that bullet, or not really?
Where are you?
I'm on the top of page
Top, yeah.
33, we're on the last page.
There's a lot in that paragraph.
Yeah.
Around this building.
For some reason, mine is cut off at 32.
I
No
like the
more-
last
No paper
sentence.
in the printer.
I'm on the website.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Ooh. I printed this
On the
off.
website, the portal?
on the portal.
Here,
Oh, maybe it's on the portal?
you wanna just read
I
it quick?
printed this out of the
I
portal,
printed
so.
it. It's the top one. Look at all my
Or I,
checks and
I
my,
could just go in and.
I like the
No, you
last part where
keep
it
I'll
says
just, I'll
"and."
go into the,
Website.
website.
Oh, you made me ruin my book.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
And I do think, like, from my interactions with folks, that people would wanna see like a really nice town center with everything all together, like the library, like, you know, I've heard that repeatedly, that, you know, that would be something that people would like to see, so that's that last sentence, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I like
That's
that.
something, you know, that we wanna consider.
Then
I
there
think
was,
people, I think people would like to have that. I know when we moved in here, we said, take us to the town center, and they took us down 3A, and we went to the LFM and said, that's it.
Right.
You're through the town center, we're
Right,
past the,
don't blink.
town hall was still the town hall, the fire station was still the fire station. And here you are.
Here you are.
So just keep that last sentence?
I would keep something
I
about a
like, I
town
like the
center.
last,
Well, there was a plan to put the library up here.
and then all the sidewalks to all the schools, remember, it was a walkable, but anyway, that's, we gotta think of economics here, but we did have, so what is this? So I'm starting to think of economics, a new town center designed around the municipal building on Albuquerque, possibly linked to the historic town center near the Merrimack River, 3A. So how do we wanna word this where it's economic? It's just promoting, they're promoting the Litchfield, right? Designate and promote? I don't know. I'm just trying to tie it to economics. I do think this is the new town center, I hate to say. 'cause
No, I think it is, but I think
It
it
is
needs,
the new town center,
But
right?
really, the first 5 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right. 'Cause when
5
was it-
lines are irrelevant, because
I
they all
agree.
have to do with the airport
Right.
and,
Yeah.
and.
No, I
the
agree.
South End.
It's
But-
really just that last part. When was this building built?
2008, maybe?
Isn't the shovel ready on the board out there? Did they have their names on the plaque
It's
out
on the
there?
plaque.
Yeah, there's a plaque up there.
But just by itself, saying a new town center designed, you know, this last sentence, how is this tying to economic? I need
It
that
doesn't
in my
really it would be in that other one, community design chapter, more so than the economic development chapter.
mind. So the first part was driving traffic here, literally, driving traffic here. Are you okay with that? Is anybody?
Obviously, the first parts go. If you want to
Right.
keep the reference to the town center, that's
And again, I think that would be in the other section.
I don't
in
know
the
if that's,
community design
how
chapter.
does that drive economic? It drives a,
Sometimes you put businesses around a town center
yeah.
because you're more apt to get traffic to that place, right? It's where your residents will commonly go. But I don't think there's the capability to put anything around to this complex.
So it's, I think, to go, keep it to go, it's going, right?
Well-
I do like, you know, because when you,
Some town land,
Right, there's town land over here, right, where the school is gonna go, over there, which is privately owned,
private land, yeah.
and not super buildable, but some of it is.
Where there might be opportunities is if we do an overlay zone, there might be opportunities around the old town center, the old town hall.
Yeah, have a driveway onto Albuquerque, so.
I mean, the old town hall. If we did an
If you
overlay
Put a
zone
business on
on 3A.
Albuquerque.
Oh, it's, you
Oh,
put it-
no, you wouldn't on Albuquerque. No, I'm thinking if we did an overlay
there's a-
zone
there's a
on
way around that,
3A,
Road,
there's an opportunity around the old town hall, the old town
Yeah.
center. there.
50-foot road,
Yeah,
and then a driveway into the business.
absolutely.
but the brochure and the marketing can take us to, take the public to the new town center and to the historic town, right? You know, and they can take it to the rec fields, right, conservation fields. I don't know, so do you wanna keep that sentence by itself, or is it?
I would
not?
take the whole, my thought is you take the
I'm
whole
okay with
thing
it
out.
going, but we can take the pieces of it in our brochure to show the town center, right?
Mhm.
And the old center, the old town. All right, what's the next one? Promote an, what is it? Promote an
Promote an overhaul of the
overhaul
transportation-
transportation.
What are the
impact.
transportation
I know, I
impact
circled
fees?
that.
Transportation, impact.
We've, I mean, we
Oh.
I know.
don't
we
have.
don't have it.
What would have that been? What would that have been? Like a toll?
A
I
toll
don't know
road?
what they were
I don't know.
Pay a toll to get to Mills?
Trolley?
I don't know what they were thinking at that.
An overhaul, I mean, it existed.
Is that still in existence?
I mean, they could have been thinking about, you know, trying to develop the infrastructure for the industrial parks they were planning. I don't really know what that meant.
So that's a go.
That's out.
I just get rid of it.
Yep.
Explore the use of special zoning and fiscal policies to stimulate selected business development and examine an influence of existing land use laws and economic development with the attention on how to improve and implement innovative zoning such as performance standards, community character guidelines, site planning, environmental controls, the sign ordinance, and enforcement. Keep it?
We're We're doing that now.
Yeah, we're
basically,
doing
right?
it now.
We are doing it now, but it doesn't hurt.
I had 3 check marks, okay. Monitor detailed engineering, fiscal, environmental analysis of alternative wastewater treatment impacts. Bye-bye.
I think this is a go.
Adios,
Away.
muchacho.
Bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, next, we're almost done. Examine the potential to sponsor or help establish a planned business park in Litchfield. The site can incorporate high-quality design, including open space planning, high-density development. Community should be prepared to support private developers with grant applications and other resources that could help achieve this objective. I still say a college campus hidden in the woods down in that area would be
Yeah,
great,
like
like
on that
Fidelity's,
Thomas
you don't know
More
it's
College.
there, right?
Besides the Thomas More College.
What, get them over here? Okay.
Still think a
Sewage?
small college would be.
They'll probably be
excellent
gone
down
in
there,
10 years, but.
which one are we on?
Potential.
Planned business park? How does the Economic Development Committee feel about a planned business park?
We have one right there on 3A.
We do have with Small Tube, right? Isn't that a
Yep.
park?
That's a
Is that a
business
park?
park.
It's only one, but it's only one business though, is it
Yeah,
considered?
but I don't think he
Any other
uses the whole
pieces?
space,
very
does he?
He did- well, the whole basement.
It's a
he does.
very small
Yeah.
park.
Was this business park supposed to be down in the southern part
Yes.
of town?
It was supposed to be, right next to Knoll's Tree Farm.
Okay.
It's in fact called Industrial Drive.
Mm-hmm.
That road.
That's right.
Do we, I mean, if a piece of land
that's
opened up down there, would this
Dana's
be
mother's
something?
house.
What about 102? Do we have room for a business park up there?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Okay,
I'd say take it out.
what was that?
I would take it out.
Yeah,
I'd say remove it.
so.
Okay. Next. Help cultivate home businesses and move them to commercial zones as these businesses expand, so. That's a tough leap. Some people, it's financial
That
too.
is a tough leap.
It is a tough leap, but
It
but
is.
it's, I've heard this consistently said over the years, right?
Well, if a business grows,
Right. Start it in your Hewlett Packard, right?
Right.
Start it in the garage, right?
Yeah,
you
All
bring your
right.
business out of your garage and almost it expands and
Right.
then you have to move to some sort of place that's commercial, which is
Right.
what Jolt is doing.
So do you wanna keep it?
I say why not?
Keep it.
I don't think it's gonna hurt anything.
Right.
Attract and cultivate the following type of businesses. Warehouses, we do that at a small scale, yeah. Light industry, such as assembly and light manufacturing. Clean manufacturing, right? Office and office parks, agriculture, specialized commercial development tied to the community character such as antique, what is this? Antique shops, dining, recreation, yeah, that's a
I mean,
keeper.
I think we keep the concept of cultivate the following
Institutional uses.
businesses, but I think we kind of make the list more consistent with what we got out of our
Exactly.
survey.
Out of the survey.
Right, yeah, it's like, I don't think anybody wanted a hospital or
Nobody
assisted
wants a
living
camp.
facility
I
or
like the
anything like that,
campus,
so. Kim, I know you do,
I
yeah.
personally think an assisted living facility would be fine here.
Do we have assisted living facilities, right? Did we take that off?
We
Oh,
have,
it's here.
over 55.
we have over
55,
55s,
right.
but assisted living facilities, they're not a drain.
The need for assisted
Those are
is
growing.
huge,
Mhm.
huge.
Yep,
So,
so if we don't have, if there's nothing in zoning that says we can't have it, or does it apply to that whole?
I don't know, I'd have to look at our table and see. Yeah, I don't know the answer.
well, a hospital, like an urgent care, or you're talking a full
It's a
blown?
No, that was, there was, again, it was the thinking of, we're gonna have sewer and a highway, so we
Yeah.
can have a hospital.
So assisted living care would need
But you got
sewerage, wouldn't
Two
it?
that way,
It'd be
two
harder.
that way, one that way.
Yeah.
But I like Jay's idea of tying that list into what the survey said.
Yeah,
And not just the survey, but in general too, we have warehouses. We minimized the size because of the Amazon
We did.
scare.
Nice the size.
So I say, add the stuff into this list, true, but do you like the light industry, clean industry, right, where they don't need a lot of water?
It's just not like,
Offices and
it's
office
just not
parks?
likely. Office and office parks aren't likely.
Alright. But sorry, you like the community care, so we're gonna keep just the first and fourth bullet, and then add our list? Our, survey and focus group?
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. And then the last one, promote affordable housing. Yeah, I didn't finish reading that. To ensure that economic restructuring will benefit all community residents. This is so out of whack
I
right
think
now.
you'd have to define affordable housing,
Whack,
because I
yeah.
don't think that's gonna pass here either.
But everyone does talk about their workforce, okay. So that's
You
gonna,
could just
are we keeping
reword
it?
that to
Are we
be
gonna
able-
keep it or
I
remove
think
it?
we reword
I
it
would
to
reword
say,
it.
you know,
You'd reword it?
I'd
What would
reword
you
it.
say, Laura?
Well, I don't know,
Okay.
I mean, what is
Oh,
affordable housing?
I probably just say, you know, promote housing types, you know, suitable for
A variety.
individuals and families of,
Yeah,
you
a
know.
variety of housing
like that.
opportunities,
Exactly, like that,
That'll be modified?
yeah.
you know, and we're doing that with accessory dwellings, we're doing, you know, so we are doing that, so.
Yeah, you are. All right, so hopefully that, and so again, tonight's focus, because we don't have to do 3 yet, we'll talk about it though, just the high level, but was to just know we're gonna hand it off to you at some point soon.
Yeah.
But now we're back to Laura's question on page 30. But before we do that, does anybody else have anything they wanna add before we go back into potential strategy?
Wait, I'm confused, where are we?
Should back on 30, but I just want to read something before we go over that. Page 30, section I. All right, so that was Laura wanted to step back and say.
No, yeah,
Fine.
right, just to,
So, I just want to just look ahead in the agenda, we're not going to do it yet. We were going to talk about our deliverable number 3, about zoning bylaws, policies.
Are we off the
No,
economic
we're gonna
development
come back right
chapter?
back to this one in a second.
Oh.
I just wanted to just give them what's coming, because that's probably gonna fold into what Laura was talking about. So if I'm back on the agenda, our item 3 was to start to talk about our ideas, what's gonna help our new strategy, right? Or what the people said they wanted, what we also think could help. So what we're gonna do when we get to 3 on the agenda, talking to Jay, I asked what the prior economic committee did. They didn't come up with actual zoning wording. They came up with concepts and ideas only, and then they went over to the planning board to work. So I'm not putting any words in anybody's mouths, but say an overlay district was gonna happen, definitely come up with the ideas and all of that. But then you will probably create a whole section of ordinances just for that land use type, right, of that 3A overlay. So it's so complicated, you have to work on that too and look at
Yeah, the
the
planning
whole
board would
entire.
hold
So the
workshops
planning
and-
board does that anyway. So when we do get to zoning, maybe tonight, maybe next time, we're gonna identify ideas and concepts. I've had people mail me some, plus we had some that came out during the focus group and during our own discussions. So the first part was just identify them. The second part, we have to agree upon them as a committee. So if we have 50 ideas, we all have to say whether we agree to them as a committee or not, okay? And then the idea will be created by the planning board. You would actually create the warrant article and get it through legal, right, and all of that. Does that, and then anything, the last thing on zoning is, when I left the last meeting, it looked like, oh, to me, I didn't want everybody piling on every kind of article and warrant article they wanted. So if it's economic development committee only, we'll put it in here. But if it's something not related to economic committee, but it is a good idea, then we can still create a warrant article for it outside of this committee. Does that make sense? So if,
Yeah.
I'm not,
Yeah.
so if
Shouldn't be
conservation comes up with
creating
this great
concepts.
idea, but it doesn't have to do with economic development, keep it. It just won't be in our chapter, but it will be, let's go get a
Right.
warrant article out to the public, right?
That makes sense.
That would be
Because
this,
if not,
that
because
would not be
everybody's
this
gonna pile in
committee's
every article
job.
they want
Right.
into this thing, right?
I mean, for us, would the only thing we might talk about as a warrant article be the zoning overlay change? If we were to do that?
I think that would just, I'm looking at our charge, that, I think that's gonna fall under 2, when it says establish recommendations, we're recommending a potential zoning, if that's what the board's
That's what we're gonna
recommending.
get to next.
Right.
So those things we can talk about may come in here, and recreation may or may not have anything I don't know, right, because it's tough, and that's okay, it's tough. I was thinking that after I talked with you, like, oh, it's a tough assignment, it really is tough. All right, so we have this last section about the strategy, right? This is why we're here, but I wanted you all to know, again, we have charge 1 done, this will be charge 2. I'm not sure of a time frame on this yet. You can probably do some of it. You're still gonna be waiting for things for us to fold into it, right?
Yeah.
But at
mean,
least it's gonna be
I don't
saying
wanna
it's
speak for
worked
the
on.
planning board, but my assumption is the planning board would probably want this committee's work to be wrapped up.
Yep.
Or largely before they jumped into this chapter.
Absolutely.
Because this committee's work is really gonna
Right.
influence that chapter.
And this section is right here. Why we have this whole committee. So, it had what it was back then. Do you wanna just read it so we can at least see what they had? Because then we know what to remove, and then we can start talking about our own ideas that came to the surface, and what people had mailed in, all right? Organization, I'm gonna go on page 31. Just the 4 bullets of their strategy. I don't know if anyone read it, I highlighted certain things, so under 1, organization. They talked about, and we didn't have this here, economic planning, I'm on the second sentence of organization. Economic planning activities are conducted by a variety of institutions and stakeholders at the local, regional, state, federal. Assuming the community supports economic development, which sounds like we do, right? We need leadership and execution to keep this going forward. It looked like the bullet under it says, establish a local economic development entity that will provide a strong, sustained leadership and consultation of Litchfield's community economic development. I think once we deliver this, I don't know if this committee continues.
Well, this says
So
that
the
there should be
energy, I
a
didn't think
standing
was gonna
committee.
continue, but it did. So this first bullet is saying, once we deliver this, we should establish a local economic development entity. That would probably be handling the marketing and all of that, right?
Right, this was more like something like Nashua has their commercial industrial development,
Yep.
group, cause,
Sitta?
yeah, but again, the
And again,
concept was.
they were gonna have all this stuff down here at the
Right.
south end of town, so
So at least, like, I'm just trying to get in their mindset, and then we can see if we dismiss it or not, right? All right, promotion,
Conceived of originally as,
promotion again, the stakeholders,
Circumvental island.
yeah, really. All right, so the second one, I won't go into detail here, but clear communication with a variety of audiences. So again, the community and the stakeholders, but if you go to the bullet, promotional objective, develop a public relations and marketing function to educate the public and promote Litchfield for business.
Again, I think it's
Yeah.
moot, given the situation with the.
Right.
Right.
But
South-
our
south end of
brochures
town.
will be doing that, right, hopefully, in our website, all right. All right, number 3, economic restructuring. All right. I underlined certain words here. I didn't have an X next to this one, did I? No. Economic restructuring involves defining and implementing specific policies to achieve the economic effects with the public and the private sector. All right, nurturing the local economy, managing growth is complex and requires policies fit the needs of all parties involved. Influence markets for the public good, benefit private sectors willing to share the risk. So the bullet says, cultivate the local capacity to provide high-quality economic planning and decision-making, strive to optimize community benefits and private sector opportunities. So we don't have a lot in the private sector in town here, right? So,
This whole page was written
right.
with the
Oh, I know.
expectation that we were gonna have big
I know it
development.
is, but I just wanna see their mindset, so we can say dismiss, dismiss, dismiss. And the last one is 4. Again, it looks like the marriage with the relationship to the region economic
Yeah, I see
process.
that.
What's on the next page? So what's that bullet say? Develop strong ties with the regional economic development officials and numerous economic development initiatives underway at the state and regional level. Okay, so we have a blank slate here. All right. I don't see any of this, because so far we're leveraging some of this,
Some of it,
but I
yeah.
don't see this coming forward, right, even though we're
Right.
leveraging pieces of this chapter. All right, so I think folding in, Laura, what you said about the survey and the focus group is good, but I still think we need something for just general as well, but let's see what pans out. All right, so the discussion, how do we wanna go about this? Do you wanna go over ideas that have come through our research, or do we just want a discussion at this point? How do you wanna go forward? I mean, we can go on the agenda 3 that might have this all come out. All right, you want me to start with some? Why don't we do this? When we looked, it seems to, what the themes I'm seeing come up, and correct me if I'm wrong, is overlay district, right? 3A overlay district? I don't know if you wanna call it that. That would be the feathering concept that came into play. I don't know if we were gonna go larger businesses to small, or just feather in what wanted here. You wanted small businesses like bed and breakfasts, you wanted wineries, breweries, coffee shops, that kind of thing. And it also wanted to maintain the rural character, right?
Yep.
If we could, should have a residence component, that was my question. I don't want somebody just kind of building up a building and just having a business without a house there, but that's not my decision, that'll be the group, right? It's supposed to be residential, right?
But Laura,
With
would that be
business?
would that be part of an overlay district?
I don't think it
Would
had to be a home
basically a
business.
house? or-
No, it doesn't have to be home business, but I don't want, like, just on the lot, it's just a business, it's not a home, because I know you're really just sticking a business. That's a question I had for the group when we get there. So if we have a 3A overlay district and somebody has a house and they want something in the house, or they have a structure on the property, that could be a business, fine. But what if the structure on the land is just a business? There's no,
I think
Somebody living
when
there.
we were showing the different images and alternatives, some of them were. I mean, people, like the
Okay.
idea of a Parker's Maple Barn or something like that, that was a business.
okay, so that's a question that I have, should it have a residence component? We don't have to answer it today, it was just a question I threw out.
Yeah, so my thought, when I was thinking about the overlay, that it does not need to have a residential component, but it needs to have performance standards to maintain a certain look.
Okay.
So,
Exactly.
right,
So, yeah, and you've mentioned that in and we have it in the minutes and stuff.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so performance standards, and you talked about the roof pitch.
yeah, like
and
anything, like,
anything
like
that.
style.
Setbacks.
It should look like a house,
Okay,
Yeah,
Or a barn.
or, yeah, something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I
It
mean,
should-
and you can have all of those, as part of our regulations to really
Exactly.
maintain that.
Consistent with the rural
and
character, the
like we talked
historic
about-
character, et cetera.
Right, the
yeah.
landscaping, you can talk about trees and spacing of the trees and where the parking is gonna be, it needs to be in the back of the building, not the front, or.
Yep.
Right.
that gets into the big zoning book you and I were
What?
And I was gonna go, remember I was gonna go in the zoning and just look for all these keywords and see if they were gonna be in here, and I'm like, pfft, yes, all of that, absolutely. The other thing that came up, that was the big one, home businesses.
Yep.
We will look at the zoning, existing ordinances, right? See if
Review
there's
it,
anything.
yeah.
Do we have anything that restricts home businesses?
Oh,
We
yeah.
do have
Oh, yeah.
restrictions on it, yeah.
Yeah, we've
As
got,
far as size, I mean,
we have a detailed ordinance
Right.
on
It's
home
big.
businesses.
And it could be like two people if one's a family member, there's a bunch.
Yeah, and
Signage.
there's two classes, ones that require planning board approval and ones that don't. I mean, they're detailed.
And yeah, and one you can get by right, like if I'm working and I'm just doing stuff online on my computer, and there's no like effects on the community, but my boss wants, or somebody wants to see that I can do that, I can do it by right.
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, we have by right, we have ones requiring approval from the planning board, family childcare facilities as home occupations, so yes, we definitely have, like, Jay was saying, a lot of stuff that talks about the requirements and what you need to do to get that traffic and noise, which I think is right on target, and then we prohibit certain things from being, home occupations too. So you can't do motor vehicle and machinery service, repair and painting as a home occupation, which makes sense. No vehicle sales, medical, dental, or veterinarian practice, can't have a kennel, and manufacturing of firewood. Can't do that.
That was actually a point of discussion, not surprisingly, that's why it's specifically mentioned.
There you go.
So what are we gonna look at them to see if we can expand them?
Yeah, I don't think it hurts
Yeah.
to review them.
Yeah, I think the recommendation, we just review them.
Okay, so review them, okay.
The biggest issue we're having right now is signs.
Signs for,
Sure,
Signs on your home
signs,
business.
There's
absolutely.
ordinances
Right.
on that as
It's
well.
always an issue. But it's, we could certainly review it.
So we might obviously have a sign
Which
ordinance.
was one of
We
the
do.
issues that individual in your focus group brought up.
Yes, exactly.
so we don't allow signs. There shall be no business sign of any type in home occupations permitted by right.
What does that by
Exactly.
right mean again?
Means
You
you,
don't need to go to the planning
right,
board.
you don't need any
Gotcha.
local
So
approval
you
or
did, you
anything.
broke it up.
Because the idea is that they're invisible, and that, I think that was something that he objected to, and that's, you can have a fair conversation around that, sure.
But we had an accountant come in, and they have a small, very small sign, just like the entrance door. You
Because he
don't
needed
see it from the
approval.
road, yeah, but they needed approval. So the home-based businesses, we're gonna look at the zoning, and we're also gonna look at marketing/business directory. Was the other one, right? Alright. I thought,
It's
oh,
worth, I think it's worth mentioning in here somewhere, though, that the mixed-use
Yep.
district that passed at town meeting really was very much influenced by the work of this committee, and so somehow, it's already happened, but I think it's just worth mentioning that, because that really was reflective of the work that was done here.
So question about mixed use. Do we have a clear definition of what can be put in a mixed use area?
Yes.
and I also like, and I'm not
Is that-
calling it, oh,
can-
go ahead.
Does anybody know where that is?
Yeah, it's in
I'd
the
be
ordinance.
interested in, I don't wanna read it now, but if you
I
give me the
didn't bring my
ordinance number, I'll
ordinance,
go
but
through it.
the mixed-use overlay is in the, it's in the, zoning ordinance now for the northern commercial zone. So if you go into the northern commercial zone, you'll see it
Okay.
as an option, and it actually lists the uses that are allowed.
And I think in there, and I'm calling it the wrong thing, I'm gonna call it a cost-effective report, but they have to justify,
They have to do a fiscal impact report, yeah, to show that it's fiscally, net positive
to the to the town.
to the town.
So that helps us from an economic point, right? It's not a drain, right? I don't know, is that
Yeah.
a
It
has to
standard
be a net
report? Is that a
positive to the town.
customized report? What
Yes.
is that? What kind of report is that? Do they make it up themselves?
It's a fiscal impact report that they have to do.
Is it like a standard that they fill in, or?
No, they have to, they have to do it, but those are not uncommon. So there are methodologies for doing it. Basically, they just have to, the whole reason for that was what the planning board was trying to avoid is what has happened in some communities where a mixed-use development is proposed and the commercial piece is never realized. That's really was the concern.
So that's handled?
Yeah, I mean, right now, it's already, it
It's
passed
in-
the town meeting.
Right, it's in the,
I know it
the
passed,
current
but
notice.
Right.
I was just saying, I think we should, there should be some conversation in here that was reflective of the work of this committee.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's probably too much for tonight, but I mean, Jason had a comment about, we should maybe look more, we should take I took it, I'm paraphrasing, but we should maybe take a closer look at 102, maybe we haven't really thought enough about 102, and I thought that was a valid comment. that-
There is an old house lot there that the house was taken down a long, long time ago, on the right-hand side. You can still sort of see the driveway.
Is that the inventory list you have, Kim? You can get the inventory list for 102, right, for the tax? All right, yeah, so 102, and also, I thought, I might have heard Laura say it, I don't know, but maybe not. The commercial land that's left, did you say something like you can make it more condensed or dense, like put more in there?
I did not.
Didn't say that, so is that something, I don't know where I heard it from. So, maybe putting more things in a smaller area, I know you have the, I don't know if that's something you
Yeah,
wanna talk
I mean,
about.
it's something to think about, I don't know how,
Okay, I'm just trying to
I
get
don't know
more
how
businesses
feasible.
into a smaller area, so, if we could do it.
We should worry about getting some businesses in before we try to get them all in one place.
Okay,
I
I'm gonna
guess.
cross out, I'm gonna go going through all the notes here. More consolidate. The V3 report, let me just grab, do you have your email up?
no.
All right, let me grab mine.
What are you looking for?
That report that I emailed out where that had the takeaways in it, but anyway. End of Albuquerque to Page Road.
Oh, there's a right-of-way, right?
You're talking about that piece of
Does
property?
it go, it's not Albuquerque.
When you get to the end of Albuquerque to Page, right, at Page, you can go, 102 would be if you went
Cutler?
straight
Oh,
through.
are you talking about the cut through from Albuquerque continuing
Yeah,
Albuquerque?
if they did, is there anything that we
So-
can do there, or is that, I don't know what land is available there.
Oh, so that concept was,
I thought it came out on 3A.
again, way back when, the
Yeah.
idea was that there's this little right of way here, where, at Cutler Road, and then, so Albuquerque was gonna extend here, intersect Cutler Road, and then it was gonna come through to 3A right here.
Yeah.
And there is still, so when I mentioned that industrial drive, next to Knowles, that was the idea. Albuquerque was gonna connect to
3A.
3A.
And what's that land now? Is that still,
That's still part of the DOT's land,
is
right?
that DOT's land still?
Well, no, some of it is, but a lot of that's privately owned right now.
Okay. So
A
that's
piece
fine.
of industrial, but again, that was gonna be an industrial park.
Mhm.
So the idea was we connect 3A to the industrial park. 3A Albuquerque through the industrial park. Yes.
Okay, so I'm not sure about that. Marion, did send an email, that she went to the commission, Heritage Commission, they like the overlay district idea. The historic district proposal they were working on, they're still gonna maybe look at that, they haven't decided yet, but they're still looking at that. All right. Jason's, did you all get a chance to read Jason's email?
Yes.
Did y'all read it or no?
I did not know.
All right, I'll just get that up and we can read them. I told Jason, because I know time is what it is today, you can think about it too, but when we come back, we might have 40 or 50 together, and then we can talk as a group, right? And help with this piece of the chapter that's gonna be handed off, but let me just get to Jay here. There he is. All right, ideas. As I said, we would discuss them, but we'll probably do it in more detail. You want me to read? I don't know if the first one. Okay. Number 2, would you be in favor of an overlay district on Route 3A to support agricultural, artisan-based businesses, breweries, winery, mom and pop shops, farm, community? That's one thing, right?
Yep.
So, commission would have to see a draft proposal, so his commission wasn't a yay or a nay, but they just wanted to see a draft
Right,
proposal.
and I think the entire community would wanna, so we're gonna do this overlay district, but
Oh, yeah.
is it gonna eventually be all overlay? You know what I mean? How do you determine how many businesses can go on that road?
Yep.
If people are leaving and they wanna sell their house, and can they knock the house down and put a business there?
Well, that's the thing, because on Charles Bancroft Highway, it's gonna be redevelopment, because all those houses are basically residents, so
Yeah.
if I wanna do a restaurant in town, and I think it's a viable option, if we have an overlay district, I'm like, okay, there's a house, maybe I can convert that house, the existing structure into a residence, or I'm gonna knock it down and rebuild. So I do think that's,
That would happen. So, but could we limit the number of those instances that happen on that road? I mean, say, okay, I'm gonna pull it, 15 lots could be developed in that section of 3A.
you could make the overlay district
Smaller.
smaller, you know, but you wouldn't wanna say, well, this lot can, this lot next to it can't, cause then you get into like spot zoning, you
Right, well,
don't
then
wanna do that.
you're picking and choosing
Right, so if
winners
you
there.
wanted to
can't
take
do
instead
that.
of the whole length of Charles Bancroft Highway, you could say, you know, this, or this portion or something like that, you could, yeah, you can limit it that way, I wouldn't recommend limit it, like I was saying, like one lot, yes, one lot, no.
Right, no, I mean, so you can't, if you did the whole thing, if you made the whole road an overlay district, then every lot could be developed.
Yes,
Well,
Or you
yes.
shorten it into a smaller section of the road.
There's other things though that you could do, like for example, in the mixed use overlay in the northern commercial zone, you have to have a minimum of 5 acres. So there's things like that you could do. You could set an acreage limit, and that by default means some lots would be too small. There's a lot of things you could do once you start to get into the weeds of how you would construct it.
So, growing up, there was a street that looked like 3A, and they started to allow small businesses in there, and I just saw it morph over time. All of a sudden, houses were now getting flattened, and a small business showed up, right? And then somebody would get a variance, and a big store would show, you know, so when I drive down that road now, there's 3 houses left. The rest are malls,
Oh, look
small
at Brown Ave.
businesses, you know, and I think we need the safety measure of it. We're looking like a neighborhood,
absolutely.
but again, I can't control what happens if it goes beyond.
But that's why
I've seen it happen.
I mean, kind of again, realistically, the traffic volumes are so low that you're never gonna get a strip mall. But that's why those performance standards matter so much, is,
Okay, that would be good then there. I just hate to see that because it doesn't look like any.
oh, of course, nobody wants to
And the
see
zoning is
that.
so bad, they don't even look lined up. All right, would you be in favor of moving zoning lines, shifting the commercial up Route 3A to support economic development? The consensus was that the members of the commission would have to see a proposal at this time. So basically, are you in favor of moving the zoning lines, shifting the commercial up Route 3A to support economic development? So I'm not sure if he's talking about the southern part of town, moving the line up, is that, or he can go on. to-
Presumably, he meant further, I
Well,
guess
don't know
it
if
meant
he's a
further
northern or
up.
southern,
But either way, the consensus is they wanna see it.
so again, that would have to be a warrant article, right? Number one, but,
Yep.
and then you had the tax, you could see the tax implication of that as well. So again, I was never not in favor of that, but I just wanted to see numbers back it up. And then, of course, buy-in from the public if they want it. All right, number 4 is kind of big.
I think the public would take a little, but not a lot.
Right, and the thing that comes is public involvement, like with the mixed use, like you didn't get a lot of people like coming to the meetings, you know what I mean? So that public input, like to really get engagement on that, I always find to be very challenging.
Yeah.
And then it goes on the warrant article and
People
people,
don't know what they're looking at.
yeah. And I mean, we can only do so much, as we saw with the focus groups and
Yeah.
with our committee, and it's just
Yep.
nature of what we're doing.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to his number 1. He only had 4. I just did 2 and 3. Number 1, are there any regulatory or procedural changes that relate to conservation that would consider altering to support economic development? And he said conservation primarily deals with wetlands, buffers, impacts. I'm summarizing. When the question was posed whether or not we would recommend relaxing wetland buffering to open up more lands, the answer was no.
In some cases, don't they have to deal with the state on that too?
There's
This is not
requirements
something
that the
common,
state
would
will
be in
do, But the
favor
state
of.
usually likes to defer to local
Local.
municipalities. I like wetland buffers, so.
Mm-hmm.
that's just me.
All right, he had a general commentary at the end. It's a little bit big, but much of conservation's discussion was focused on protecting the character of the core of Route 3A. While the question was not directly asked, I would think areas outside the core of Route 3A, and he put parentheses, Route 102, the state's property between 3A and 102, and the existing commercial zones would be areas to focus on. So I think he's focusing on the bottom part of this town. Let me see. I personally think we should press the state about the land in the southern end of town, circumferential highway, as that could be an area where warehousing, industrial, commercial, and even high-density two-bedroom apartments makes sense. My personal opinion is also the communication to the state should be between the Board of Selectmen Chair, our state reps, and New Hampshire DOT leadership, not lawyer to lawyer. Our reps can push for a change. If it is clear that the highway will never happen, we should develop a plan to get the land transferred over the next few years. Hudson had it returned. I would think that we should make the argument to the state through our reps. Does anybody have a comment on that?
I would agree with that.
I would say that may or may not be true, but it's probably beyond the scope of this committee.
I think it's the Board of Selectmen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anybody can go to our state rep and ask them to
Right.
push it.
So, I mean, the committee could certainly make recommendations if it wished to on what would be reasonable uses of that land.
I also don't think it hasn't been lawyer to lawyer, so that's a misrepresentation of what's currently happening.
I don't think he was saying that it was lawyer, he just doesn't think we should, as I read it, and I haven't talked to Jason about it, was that rather than have lawyers get involved, try to do it through our state connections first. I'm sure lawyers will get involved at some point, they always do, but,
I'm just saying that's not what's happening now.
So what is happening now? Could you give us a current status on that,
Yeah,
please?
so
Thank you. Sorry.
on behalf, as the board, asked us to, Laura Spector Morgan and I reached out and had some discussions because she had contacts at DOT that deal with the land, that was taken for the circumferential highway and any eminent domain land. So we had discussions with them. They put us to other people within the state that needed to have those discussions. We had discussions with them. And we were told that it has to, there's a process within DOT, and any land that is currently owned by DOT has to go to an executive administrative committee and be voted on to open up that project or that land. And that process has not been done yet. But when it is, then we'll have more information.
so Kim, you said it was you and somebody else?
Laura Spector Morgan, attorney. She's our counsel.
So-
But it was because she has the contacts with the individuals that deal with eminent domain land. And then after that, we've had discussions on the largest piece of land, which does have development occurring on it, or at least an easement being discussed between DES and Pennachuck.
On that same piece of property there?
The largest one, yep.
What do we, I know we're talking to Bennett about taking over the water supply, but what does that have to do with that land? Is that where we would pull water from? or-
So the, proposed Pennachuck project on that piece of state land actually has nothing to do with Litchfield infrastructure. Has to do with, Pennachuck to Hudson.
And since that's not really Litchfield land, it's DOT's land, they can do with it what they please.
Like I said, there's a state strategy, we don't know 100% what's going on with it yet.
Well, so there's a huge state strategy, right, with DES, because DES is under, I think everyone is trying to get water supply to Londonderry, to Pelham, to Wyndham. There's this, PFAS issue, and Hudson commercially buys their water from Pennachuck. So they need to make sure they have the capability to get that water through as well. So, water is a huge issue right now, and getting enough water to residents and businesses. We felt it even with Rose Meadows, getting enough water there. That's a huge issue right now, getting water. But that's really separate from the issue of Litchfield and what Litchfield wants to do with its infrastructure for its residents. It's kind of a separate.
So it's only pipes at this point, it's not a water pumping station, we don't know really, right? Do you know what they plan on? They're
It-
moving the water from where to where?
It was under the river, I
Yeah,
wasn't
it's a water
sure.
line.
Water line,
So it's just
yeah.
a line,
It's a big line, but it's water.
Yeah.
alright, so about state reps getting involved,
I
they
think
don't own
that's
the land,
board.
right? Huh?
Yeah,
That's the
that's
board.
beyond this committee.
Yeah,
Beyond this
exactly.
committee, I think.
Alright, so
Why-
I would recommend that go to the board and let them.
Yeah.
Alright,
Go-
let's see
go
what
to what
else,
board?
probably at least
Select
Board of
board?
Selectmen, at least to say yes or no.
The select
right?
board doesn't control what the state reps do either.
No, but
No,
no, I guess they don't, but I don't know if you wanna get DOT upset either. But anyway, let's have a discussion about that. I mean, I don't know, if somebody goes to a state rep and then they go approach DOT, what is DOT gonna say?
They may tell them to pound sand, or they may have a conversation.
I would hope that holistically, we don't hurt mutual conversations that might be happening, cause we are under an investigative report right now on the warrant article that just passed, so we are in the middle of investigating Litchfield water
Right.
plan and having conversations with Pennachuck, and if we start talking with the state about that piece, I don't know, I think
I don't know why the Economic Development Committee would be involved in that anyway. Why would the Economic Development Committee be?
I think my opinion, personal opinion, is if the state reps wanna get involved, they should speak with the governing body to make sure that they have the same goals. So one's not hurting the other. That's just my suggestion.
No, I think that's
Right.
good.
Yeah, I think that's what you commonly see in communities, is the governing body and the representatives working together to promote the same agendas.
Sometimes it takes an initiative on one side or the other to make that happen, so.
Agreed,
I
totally
don't know who's gonna
agreed.
be the first person to do that, but I agree wholeheartedly with you, but who's gonna make that initiative? Somebody should, and,
Somebody has to, do that.
right, and
Agreed.
I'm not
yeah.
gonna say who, or, but that's,
I just know in many communities, before every state session starts, there is a meeting between the governing body and the state reps, and they set an agenda. That's common, and I haven't seen that here yet, but I agree with you, Laura, that
Right.
somebody's gotta start that.
But maybe that could be a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen as
Yep.
part of this Economic Development Committee, for them to be the ones to take the initiative. And sometimes that's all it takes, is for one person to do that, and things can go smooth after that.
Right, because then otherwise you don't know that what's passing is, right?
Well, I think as.
We could all.
We don't want people pulling in different directions on the same rope, I
Right.
guess.
Right,
Yeah.
I think as elected officials, you want to have an idea, especially, you know, in that capacity of what you could do to help the community, whether that's gonna be put forth certain legislation or repeal certain legislation or work on certain study committees or something like that. So I think those meetings are fantastic.
All right, we will report that back and we will, right? We'll have a conversation. But we can put it in the report for sure. All right, I have a personal opinion. Should I let him do his own personal opinion? Or should I read his personal opinion? What do you think?
Well,
Okay, I can read it.
I think he's commenting on
Okay.
issues that are substantive.
Okay. Litchfield has a long agricultural history, and it's known for that even though there's only one farm left. There's only one?
Two.
Gilton, Normanton, right? Three?
No, we have three technically. We have
Okay.
Wilson still, we have
Yeah, maybe another one, all right. if there-
McQuestion and Steve well, it's not Steve Normanton anymore, it's some other
Okay.
group.
If there is any place in the region that would be a prime agro-tourism and agro-artisan-based business, Litchfield, we should open the lines of communication with Wilson's Farm to try to get the second anchor back to promote 3A.
Wilson's drove a lot of traffic on 3A.
Yeah.
People came from all over the place.
I assume he means the farm stand.
Yeah, the farm stand,
Yeah.
that's what I would
I
think. too.
agree. I mean, that was an institution for so many years.
Yeah.
And we had, the focus group member said maybe approach them to use the building, right? I won't say a restaurant, but for some kind of a facility.
But the building was definitely identified as something that could be,
Yeah.
yeah, a viable use.
All right, and then we'll put this here about agritourism. Okay. I'm gonna take all of these and put them on a sheet for us for next week, and we can just go right down the list, and then of course, whatever you, come up with. All right, he had three of them, that was the first one. Second one, we hyper-focus on Route 3A, we should throw the map on the table and look at 102 and the existing commercial areas to see if zoning modifications make sense, mixed use and warehousing, et cetera.
I think it's a good point.
Good, Stu.
There's definitely a couple lots there that could be developed, I think.
Okay, last one. We lost an opportunity with Barron's Warehouse due to what I believe to be enhanced above and beyond wetlands mitigation requirements, state and fed. We have also had businesses contend with New Hampshire driveway permitting with limited opportunities for appeal. Our reps could potentially help us here to navigate the appeal process. Bringing our reps in to advocate for us can't hurt.
That's the whole curb cut thing on 3A.
facilitating of the business, right? But that's state, right? We have any say over the state?
I definitely
reps can
think
talk.
those business owners could call their local reps
Yeah.
at any time.
Okay, so, all right.
It's,
So I'll
driveway
cut and
permits
paste
have
that.
been an issue for sure.
Since
Are they
But
better?
I'm not sure anyone can help
Is it
that
better?
at the moment.
Because they had half of them retire, right?
Yeah,
And
I
they
don't
had
know
a
that
sh-
it's better.
It's not better?
I don't know that it's better.
Because remember, we were just letting them build without occupancy permits because they couldn't get the driveway permit?
I can
I
say
think
that
there's
every,
still a freeze.
every larger project that's come through, we've had an issue with the driveway permit, everyone.
even businesses that were here for a long time, they came by and said, you know what, you have a big wide driveway, you need to make it 2 cars.
Let me just get my takeaway document and then we'll wrap it up, and see next step. And I want to see if Laura had anything she wanted, or let me just get my version 3 just to see if I left anything off. If anybody, let me just see the takeaways here. Jay has this lovely big fat report. Focus group. Goodness. All right, so the takeaways, mixed use was going on around the voting time, but we had the 2-month sabbatical because of the holidays, right? So that went through, but that would have affected the economic committee, so that went through. Charles Bancroft Highway Overlay District, you'll work on. The Historic District did not go through, so they'll work on that. The feathering, we talked about. Commercial land changes. Rose Meadows was going in, and it still sounds like it's going in, but I'm sure
Yeah,
they've
it's under
made a lot of
construction.
progress there.
Absolutely.
Look at other potential zoning mod land use for residential businesses and home-based businesses. emphasize balancing infrastructure needs with the requests for specific types of businesses. Implement tax implications, I don't think there's anything there. We've all agreed that we don't think the businesses they wanted would provide the tax relief. And then Laura, create the performance standards for the town's rural charm. These standards would dictate the architectural elements, okay. I think those were the takeaways that we could get from our research. Jay, you thought we had a second focus group meeting. I do remember the first focus group meeting, and we had the
Yeah.
sabbatical, right? And then they did come back. We had Mr. Caldwell come back, and we had another gentleman, Jim. Is that one of your neighbors? I think lives near Laura. I think they had brought up about that Route 3A, Wilson's property was one of the items that was brought up. So, I don't, again, Laura, I'm gonna ask if there's anything you wanna add tonight, or do you wanna, just wait till next week? As long as I get them, it's up to
Yeah,
you.
no, I mean, when you say anything I wanna add for.
You know, as far as the takeaways that we're gonna start to put into this. So you're gonna work on the overlay, with Jay and come down, okay. Is there any, so if I type this up for next week, and then we can all have a conversation, cause we'll have 3 more members here. And we, next month, excuse me. And then we can do a yes, it better not be next week. It can be, I don't, next week's fine with me. So then we need to vote on these, whether we agree, yes or no, right? That these things are gonna happen, right?
I did print out some really
Sure, what'd you
fun,
got?
like sensitive stuff if anybody wants it, in Litchfield, 50 largest employers,
Nice,
so if you want.
Jay.
50 largest employers in Litchfield?
Take it. I love that you cited,
funny.
referenced where you got the information from, and those,
It helps.
it definitely helps 20 years later.
I asked the school district, the school district, say how many employees the school district has, because it was like 100 to 150 people back in 2000.
Is this Litchfield or the region?
Just, Litchfield.
Litchfield, yeah.
This is, and I love that,
Look at
some
the
of these
paper.
companies, just lobster boats.
Ooh,
What is this?
That's just more sensitive
Census.
data, isn't it?
Looks like our last ballot.
I know.
And what is this? Census?
Just,
Oh, yeah, we can
census
pull that,
data.
yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting.
It's weird that we're hovering around the 85, 86 for population.
Yeah.
This Hudson is booming.
Hudson's
They're gonna get
huge.
another NRPC member, aren't they?
Hudson's, I wouldn't say Hudson's booming.
They're big. They're getting another member, right?
They already did,
That's what I
because
mean.
they passed the
It's a much
25,000.
Yeah.
bigger land area too, though.
25,000 people in Hudson plus?
Merrimack is pushing 30.
Really?
Merrimack is booming.
Yeah, I know.
I think when we came here, somebody in town hall told us, given the land available, the biggest Litchfield would ever be is like 9,500, 10,000 people.
That's probably true. I think that's
It
about
seems to be
accurate.
kinda just hanging in there, yeah.
But it's been 8,500,
I
seems like
know.
for a few years.
Yeah.
It'll grow with the apartments going in.
Been low growth.
Litchfield Police Department's considered a town? I mean, Litchfield Police Department?
An employer,
Oh,
yeah.
employer, okay, I
Right.
thought this was business, I
No,
gotcha.
no,
Oh,
so,
I'm Cardinal Science and Technology, hi, everybody.
so I mean, this is saying the biggest is, Tee
I'm
Off
on
at
the list.
Mills.
All part-time, right?
Yeah, and then a New England Small Troop, I'm not getting into the schools, and then Pesconaway, and then Noel's.
Wilson's. My company's on hiatus because I've been teaching the last 2 years. The golf course, good.
I don't know Cardinal
That's
Science
me.
and Technology.
That was
That's you?
my- Yeah, I've seen the website's still up. I haven't done it for 2 years for the IT because I've been a
10
professor.
to 19 employees?
Where's 19 employees? I don't have 19.
10 to 19 is saying that you
No,
have.
that just must be a category.
Lobster boat?
Yeah, I mean, some of this is all it says shorties, but shorties hasn't been here forever.
Actually, I'm a Massachusetts corporation, so I don't know why it's on the list.
I don't know.
Look at this. Two sides.
Yeah, that was
Been
all.
there 30
Stan's
years.
Paving, 5 to, yeah. Shorty's Mexican Rodos.
That's old.
Route 3A. They had more than 5 to 9 employees too.
Not in this one.
What's not?
Dead, also gone?
All right, so,
We just had that discussion with Hudson for 20 minutes,
so,
so.
Oh, right,
I
it's,
know.
it's in the tip, it's in the tip there, Hudson.
In Hudson, yes.
Oh.
It is on Hudson's Bayou.
okay.
Yeah.
So are we gonna continue with number 3 on the list next week? I'll come with them in all together, right? And we can look at those and figure out what goes into this chapter for you, Jay, right? Just keep the existing zoning ordinances obviously there. Alright. Is that what we're gonna do? So we'll identify them, we'll agree upon them next week, yes or no vote.
Next
And
month,
then-
next month.
Next month, God, my life's flying by. And then, I think the overlay district's gonna be the toughest one to make a
Do you think it's gonna be the toughest one for
zoning
it?
ordinance out of. That's,
But I think we just have to come up with like a concept.
we do the concept.
Right.
Right.
Oh, so Jay would draft it for planning board, you mean, but we don't need to draft it for this committee at all.
No, we just have to
No.
give concepts and ideas.
Yeah, that's easy.
Just a concept.
Yeah,
All right.
that's,
Work with the planning board.
Yeah.
So, if that happens next month, we will have 1, 2, and 3 pretty much done, right? Or waiting for the planning board to do that. So next time we come in, we'll do number 3 on the list. And any non-economic development as well. And number 4, once we have those, if you can just look at your bylaws, policies, see if there's a showstopper in there for anybody. All right, is that, a wrap? Our next meeting is, what is it, August
August
27th. Are we happy at this point, where we are? You're happy because we're gonna see 1, 2, and 3 off the list? Are you happy? Jay, thank you for stepping up. So once I talked to you this week, I didn't realize you were creating the actual report. So we did all that backup stuff. We'll give you all that information for appendix 1, appendix 2, appendix 3. And, all right, so we're good? Because everybody, I think, is getting a little,
All right.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
well, are we ready for that? Are we good? Takeaways? All right?
Yeah.
All right, so we have a motion. We have a second. All those in favor, say aye.
All right?
Aye. Great. Thank you, everybody.
thanks.
Have a great month.